You'll be a happy husband, so open this door now. The girl shouting this while pounding on our main character's door is Princess Elnor. She's the student council president, and the most feared woman in the whole academy. Right now, she demands our boy appear. She's here to collect, and it's not rent money. Our guy, on the other side, is playing dead, begging every deity in existence that she'll just go away. Fat chance. She stabs the door, declaring her entry, and begins carving it to pieces as our hero screams about the rules. As president, she should be stopping this exact behavior. But she sneers. Too bad, I am the president. I make the rules. Now, why are you working so hard to avoid me? Before he can respond, a cat-eared girl pops into the window demanding to know what's up. That's Saris, an assassin who has killed thousands. Elnor warns her to get lost. If she witnesses what's about to happen, she'll learn the real difference between them. Saris just taunts her, claiming anything Elnor does, she can do far better. Meanwhile, our hero is stuck in the middle, deeply unsettled, and insisting he has never considered any of them. But nobody cares, because the ceiling explodes. A girl with tribal tattoos on her massive thighs lands, announcing their wedding is ready. He just needs to follow her. Suddenly, a chain whips through the air, snaring another girl who just entered, asking why he's always with high-class girls. He needs her for a simple, peaceful married life. But hold on, because the lineup is insane. A tiny, fiery witch appears. She claims he's been hers forever. So the rest should forfeit. He's enchanted and loves only her. 5 women, 1 room, all want him and will kill one another. And our poor hero is caught in the middle, fully aware he's powerless. He's weaker than all of them. So how did a nobody with 0 stats, no skills, and no charm get every Kicho-sun, deadly woman in the academy fighting over him? It wasn't his amazing looks. It was a secret talent he was given. You see, our guy was once a normal dude on Earth. He played a game, Savior in Ascension. He won, saw the finale, loved it, and then woke up the next morning inside that very game, just poof. He was suddenly transported into the body of Dow Campbell, son of a minor viscount from a forgettable farming town. That barely got a mention in the game, an F rank in every stat. But he did possess a natural talent that triggers around dangerous people. The more evil or threatening they are, the more drawn they become to him. So those psycho women wrecking his room, that's not a coincidence. It's his power working perfectly. He's literally designed to attract the absolute worst people. And it just so happens, the deadliest characters here are all women who will one day destroy the Empire. But before all that, madness at the Academy, his father gave him simple advice. Lay low, don't make waves, don't be noticed. Dow was completely on board. His plan, keep his grades low and live a life in the shadows. That plan survived for about 2 panels. On the train to the Academy, he sat opposite Elnor, the very woman who becomes the final boss. A true powerhouse princess, if you ask her twice, who has a demon slumbering in her blood. She's destined to go mad and create a mountain of bodies. Later, when the train was attacked and a boulder flew at his head, our genius decided to survive with his F-rank stats by diving onto her, using her enchanted necklace as a shield. It worked. He lived, but she assumed he was trying to save her life. She smiled, asked his name, and promised to never forget him. And with that, his talent awoke for the very first time. The final boss now had her eyes on him, believing he risked it all for her. But true disaster struck during the entrance duels. Everyone had a partner, and the only one remaining was a girl named Elliot Kreisnex, the hero fated to save this entire world. Essentially, the actual main character, the world's greatest genius, with a brilliant smile. She asks if he needs help, still a bit stunned. He just agrees. But inside, he knows, this girl is destined to become the world's savior. In truth, she is the hero of Savior in Ascension. She stands there, absolutely radiant, extending her hand to help him rise. These chapter opening pages are stunning. Thank you, artist. Meanwhile, in another room, someone notes Count Kaidion and Galanter have also arrived. A girl in glasses wonders, is that woman insane? The duels have begun. How dare she be this late? And that's when the beast arrives, blood-soaked and glorious. The glasses girl has questions, but first things first. Where on earth were you? Eleanor just says she had business to handle, the woman with glasses. Dismisses everyone else. They need to talk, just the 2 of them. A moment later, she asks how many people died, Eleanor replies. Only about 12. Assassins tried to kill her, and they had the nerve to strike again after the train. The director sighs, saying she should have let the school deal with it. But that sounds terribly boring to Elnor. She wouldn't do something so dull as letting others kill her would-be assassins. The director orders her to get ready for the duel. If she rushes, she can watch Ilya Krikanax fight some nobody named Dodd Campbell, a name she's never heard. Elnor finds that strange. That boy didn't seem like the type to stand out. But a smirk plays on her lips. She muses. He's got something special, doesn't he? Meanwhile, our hero is shaking in the arena's center. As the crowd calls him a country boy, he knows his stats are complete trash. One solid blow and he's finished. In theory, he has a slight edge. He's got that new near-death talent. The more peril he faces, the stronger he should get. He also knows a bunch of villains are watching him right now. If he can just survive, he might spark some interest. Maybe if he plays this well, this whole mess could work in his favor. But Ilya, looking odd, suddenly calls his name. She demands honesty from him. She can already tell he's pathetically weak. He stammers, but she just nods. She probably planned to destroy him, but now she's actually feeling sorry for him. Our boy is left, dumbfounded. Why is he getting chewed out for nothing? Ilya says it's because he was with Elnor, and she despises that woman. Not just her, but the entire Tristan household. To her, they're all demons. Our hero thinks, wow, she's bold for saying that publicly. But he gets where the animosity comes from. It's all connected to her family's backstory. He attempts to explain that he was just unlucky enough to be near Elnor. But Ilya couldn't care less, because just seeing his face reminds her of that woman, and it's getting on her nerves. Then she offers a deal. She asks if he wants to have a fake fight. The protagonist sees this as a golden opportunity. The issue is, if he fakes the battle, his skills won't grow. He'll never learn what his talents can do. The only way to get seen is to survive her full power. So he tells her to bring it on, and to really push her buttons, he adds. Actually, I quite like Elnor. Ilya freezes, gripping her sword, unsure if he means it, since a real fight is his only choice. He insists. I'm not kidding, I like her, just as much as you despise her. Right then, deadly charm activates. Now the villains watching are even more intrigued, and it seems he's received a new perk. Ilya grinds her teeth. If you say so, then I won't feel bad for what happens next. In a flash, she closes the distance. Her first blow utterly shatters his wooden sword. It's smashed to pieces. She smirks. You dodged, at least you're not totally useless. She advances again, readying a thrust. Time to get a little more serious. In that instant of certain death. Desperate. Survivor activates. His strength jumps to X rank, and he decks her right in the face. Then he recalls. X rank was the game's highest tier, and Ilya is sent flying straight into the stadium wall. The barrier explodes, and everyone, himself included, is stunned. Elnor stands there, having seen it all. And though all his stats are F rank, on day one, Dodd Campbell just destroyed the world's main character. Yikes, I hope she's not dead. Her face is now part of the concrete. Sometime later, during a meeting, someone says, that kid is probably a fraud. What he did was completely illogical. Everyone knows his stats are pathetic. They were checked pre-duel. But that hit was real. The woman in glasses asks what he's implying. The timid man says, nobody in all of Elephant could take a hit like that and walk away fine. He suspects the boy used some illegal drug or a forbidden technique to take down Ilya. Of course, there is one other, stranger option. Maybe he's secretly some kind of monstrous genius who can hide his real strength. The girl with the monocle adds, even so, it will be but this victory was a bitter pill to swallow. After all, Margaret of Kindred, Ilya's sponsor, wouldn't just sit back and accept this defeat. Losing Ilya, their top patron, would be a catastrophe for the Academy. So, they had to expose the boy as a fraud, and fast. The man in green, however, was skeptical. He simply asked what she wanted them to do. Every year, he explained, we get tons of talented freshmen. With this much attention on him, he'll be forced to make another move. And when he does, they'll know. They'd see if he was a fake. Meanwhile, his face was already on the front page of every newspaper. The headline screamed, who on earth is Dodd Campbell? Our hero couldn't believe this was only his first day. He never thought his so-called talent would cause such a massive stir. Just then, a new profile appeared. Of course, see, it was the one and only Elnor Latristan. Her trust jumped to level 2, unlocking another gift. Time for a little reward. As he sat there, he noticed something else. The curiosity levels of several characters were steadily climbing. He saw the pattern now. It started with curiosity, then shifted to interest, and finally to trust. All points he could spend in the shop. The real question was, why was the final boss the one most interested in him? He then received a new skill from the Latriston family's own, sword style. The only problem, that family had deep ties to demons. But for a man just trying to survive, power was power. What truly baffled him was Elia Crixnex. She wasn't a villain, so why did he even have a profile card for her? Her curiosity was already level 4, but he couldn't claim any rewards from it. He knew she wasn't a bad person, and she barely cared about him. So why was her card? Even there, at that very second, a knock came from his door. "Is this Dodd Campbell's room?" He knew that voice instantly. "It's Ilya," she announced. "Open up." Immediately, our boy began to shake. His genius plan, absolute silence. Hold his breath. Hope she disappears. Too bad she was standing right there, in a neck brace and covered in bandages. She'd clearly suffered. With a sigh, she said, "I know you're in there. I'm kicking the door down in 3 seconds." He panicked, shouting, "Are you crazy?" Now that she had him, she told him to open up. She had something to say. He froze. What in the world could she want? And then, completely healed and grinning, she declared, "Maybe we should get to know each other." This was a first. The main character had literally punched a girl so hard she developed a crush. What a world. A little later, she was seen storming from his room, enraged. "You should have just taken it. You're so stubborn." Her friendly approach was a total failure. As she fumed, wondering how to befriend the guy, someone walked right past her, and a bag dropped to the floor. As she knelt to grab it, a cool voice spoke. "You should watch where you're going." Damn, it was Elnor, dripping with cool confidence. She looked at her. Kurt. The moment Elia saw her face, a memory ignited. A voice screamed, "Brother, run!" before a burning wasteland. A man stood with a sword, and Elia trembled, not with fear, but with pure, unbridled rage. Her hand instinctively shot to her blade. The problem was, she doubted she could beat Elnor at her current level. But Elnor stood there, perfectly serene, holding out a hand. "Get up." Elia found this incredibly strange. She was positive Elnor saw her go for her sword. "So why this calm act?" Elia muttered. "Give it back." "Ah, of course. The bag belonged to Elnor. She was just giving it back." But Elia had a more important question. "Are you actually involved with Dodd?" In response, Elnor gave her some oddly specific directions. "Go to the end of this hall, turn left, and you'll find his room." Elia's eyes narrowed. "How do you know that?" Elia looked awkward as hell. I was just with him." "Oh boy, here we go." Elnor pressed on. "And for what reason were you with him, looking extremely uncomfortable?" Elia said, "Just freshman stuff. You know, getting acquainted." But Elnor just smiled sweetly, reminding her of a certain campus rule. First years are not allowed to interact with the opposite sex. Elia was about to protest that she'd never heard of it, when Elnor calmly stated, "I just made it up. From now on, you are forbidden from entering that room." Elia didn't seem to care about the new rule. She only wanted to know their connection. But Elnor simply turned. "I have no relationship with that guy. Just learn to stay out of his room." But then Elia remembered. She recalled his exact words. "I like Elnor as much as you despise her." She knew something was going on. Between the two, and to gather intel, she must get closer to him. Now, our hero is heading to the class assignment exam, a meticulous and vital test at this academy. Students are grouped based on one-on-one duels. And since he beat Elia, he landed in the top group. Everyone looks proud and confident, while he's just plain horrified. And the biggest issue is this girl who will not leave his side. He's tried shaking her off since yesterday, but now she's in his same group, making everything much worse. Not to mention her growing interest in him is just terrifying. He recalls someone left bread rolls outside his room door, wishing him luck. He can't tell if it was her or some other psycho. Either way, things aren't looking good for our guy. At least this exam follows the plot, so things shouldn't go off script. But his system alert for Elnor shows an event is about to start. Elnor, looking healthy as ever, appears, announcing she'll supervise them for the exam. Our boy knows it already. If she's in, charge. Something is definitely going to happen. The teachers have all gathered, excited to see the boy, who beat the hero perform. Elnor tells everyone to get moving. She leads them to the exam site. Some of the staff are impressed, noting the students seem extra diligent this year. The students enter a dimly lit hallway. Ilya immediately asks, "Is this part of the exam?" But our boy, he knows precisely what this is. The entrance has been sealed. The power is cut. And then Elnor's event triggers. And Dodd knows this isn't a test. It's an ambush. His system notification confirms his fears. Another assassination attempt is coming. He watches quietly as the others chat, assuming someone will rescue them soon. But Dodd starts analyzing. Everyone in this hall is part of the main characters group. This is the event that bonds them together. Every person here is crucial to the plot. He steps up and points to a map. We should head to the central hall. It's more spacious, so we can see the area better. At the very least, that area has equipment, supplies. And if they're attacked, it's better than being stuck in this cramped corridor. A girl in nun's robes raises a brow. Why are you suddenly talking about an ambush? But our boy just shrugs. The student council president and Aaliyah probably noticed. We're not alone in here. He starts to walk away. Aaliyah stops him. Where are you going? He simply says, it's necessary. But she frowns. That direction is the complete opposite of the central hall. Our boy, hesitating, knows he can't tell the truth. But this is vital, and he'll explain it later. His plans send them all to the central hall while he stays behind. The real target is that psycho woman, not him. As long as they survive and he stays alive, it'll all be fine. Now, they've moved on through the corridors and he's relieved. The plan actually worked. Seems like smashing Ilya into a wall earned him some trust. Now all he must do is wait for the event to pass, let them handle it, and stay out of it. However, that's precisely when someone calls his name. A man claims he's here to fix the power and asks for a guide. Sadly, his vision is bad in the dark. Immediately, the system warns him of a dangerous situation. Has been detected. Meanwhile, in another area, Freya wonders if Dawn will be okay alone. Maybe something bad could happen. What they don't see are the assassins lurking right above them. Ilya remarks that he likely has a plan, but they still need to be careful. Of course, our dear Elnor has already sensed that. Something is seriously wrong. Our boy walks with the weird man, his legs slightly apart. The weirdo is certain that the main group has been killed by the evil woman. Even that kid who showed some potential was so easily fooled. A pro assassin like him can judge a person's skill by their movements, and he can tell our boy is a total amateur. He decides to have some fun before the kill, and then take out this Tristan. At that moment, the man calls out to our boy, who glances back. Then he praises him, saying he did a great job and that it's time for his reward. Our hero looks at him and says, thanks, adding that at least he's hammered. The man is utterly stunned that this bastard knows his name. And the protagonist just says he's relieved. If it had been someone tougher, he'd be in actual danger. Fub is just glad to see that the guy is this weak, but he'd already guessed from his strange way of walking. The assassin is baffled, not figuring out what this lunatic was saying. But our boy thought that with a desperate survivor, this job would be a piece of cake. Hammond attacks, hoping to end things before they get messy. Our boy braced for impact. Elsewhere, his allies were being tossed around like ragdolls and pelted by a shower of arrows. Everyone was getting absolutely wrecked. So much for being the protagonist's party. Ilya orders Pallas to freeze them, all while wondering where Elnor ran off to. Speaking of which, Elnor appeared, a vision of deadly grace, sending 4 goons flying with one swing. They didn't stand a chance, spilling their guts on the floor. She grabs the first one, demanding to know who was pulling the strings. At the same time, the mage flash freezes the others. They learn that a man named Hamud from the Crescent Moon was behind it. Elnor needs to know if he's here, but the goon stays silent. She puts her foot down. Now, some might consider this a reward, but I'm pretty sure this one actually hurt. Oof, his skull is about to crack. She warns him to start talking. The guy finally spills. Yes, he's here, but in another area. Ilya warns that she's going too far, but Elnor retorts that anyone who hunts her will face the same fate. Hammett is a professional assassin, and right now, only one person is a perfectly easy target for him. In that moment, they all realize Dodd went off alone, luring the strongest foe to himself. Ilya asks what their relationship is, but Elnor denies it again, stating there is none. Truthfully, she doesn't know him well, so she wants to get to know him better. Oh, you sly one. Meanwhile, the assassin is monologuing like a pro. He had set up a flawless barrier, so why was this happening? Turns out, he was getting demolished by our boy, who activated his life-on-the-line talent. Plus, he now has Elnor's sword style, so this kid isn't a pushover anymore. Our hero is impressed by his own moves. As the assassin realizes he's facing the Tristan family's swordsmanship, he seriously picked the wrong kid to mess with. The villain admits he fell right into the trap, but he has to know who this boy is. Just then, the deadly charm skill activates, and suddenly the villain is captivated by the boy's talent. Our boy stays silent as the man speaks. Someone as cool as you will surely want to kill me. So go on, finish the job. But Dodd just tells him, I won't kill you. Just tell your men to stop attacking Elnor. He's trying to stop her from activating her gray demon power. If he can prevent her from being constantly attacked, maybe she can keep control. But the assassin asks, "What if I come back and attack again?" Dodd walks away with total swag. "If you try to kill her, you'll have to go through me first." The man asks, "Is that woman truly so important?" And Dodd replies with a simple yes. At that very second, deadly charm activated once more. Our boy had no idea. The beautiful menace was right behind him and heard every word. Her favorability just shot through the roof. He turns around, utterly confused. Her affection rating just keeps climbing. At least 15 notifications just popped up. Meanwhile, across the academy, the headmistress is banging her head on her desk in frustration. Everything is a total disaster. She knows the chancellor is livid, but finding this organization is proving impossible. She tells Elnor, "You must see that this place is a chaotic mess right now, especially since we've confirmed a spy is hiding among us." The headmistress adds, "You seem determined to stay, even though you just got here and they've already tried to kill you 3 times. And she needs to be more careful, because this incident was on another level. They sent a professional assassin. Things are bound to get worse. On top of that, she finds it odd that everyone who survived got honors, except for Don Campbell, who vanished right after. It was all over. The headmistress has noticed. He's trying to avoid all attention, and she just doesn't get why." Elnor sighs. "I don't understand either. She's said that 3 times now, making the headmistress finally lose it. "Stop saying that," she yells, throwing something at her. "And let's thank her, because by throwing that, she made Elnor raise her arm, looking absolutely stunning in the process." Elnor apologizes. "Sorry, I was distracted. It's just there's someone I've become interested in." The headmistress is completely baffled. "What on earth are you talking about?" Elnor just gives a faint smile. "You just said his name." The room goes deathly quiet. Fen glares at her, incredulous. "You can't be serious. You like that awkward country boy?" she cautions Eleanor. "She must be cautious. If Architect Tristan discovered this, he would be furious." Eleanor brushes it aside. "It's not like that. I have no such interest." The headmistress relaxes. "Good. Just be careful. You're usually more wary around men." Eleanor agrees. "You're right. I need to test him. For now. I'll watch him very closely." Just then, our boy gets his test results. Unfortunately, it reads that his class is still pending. They're calculating his results a terrible sign. This means they are overthinking him. He just wanted a random class to be forgotten in. What he now fears is landing in the special class with all the heroes. They are delaying his placement, almost excluding him, which is strange. Then, his first mission is cleared and his info. Updates. New mission resolve the incidents at the freshman reception. He knows it's at this event where classes are decided. There are the typical archers, mages, and priests, and so on. His goal is to exploit his strength for a class that matches it. Meanwhile, the final boss, Eleanor, and Elia are both involved. He's certain something he despises is about to happen. Then he gets a reward for bonding with Eleanor. He can copy one of her skills, but he's no fool. Now is not the right time to use it, because though she's the strongest now, she's destined to get stronger. Only then will it be worth copying a more powerful talent. Night falls, and he slips out of the academy to an abandoned house. Naturally, he's loaded with stealth items, making him undetectable. In-game, this was a prime spot for farming treasure. He vaults the wall and heads toward a room cluttered with items. Countless objects are here, but one is vital. A mana burner, with 1,000 years of stored power. He grabs it. Got it. But just then, the whole ground begins to tremble. Our poor guy knew it was too easy. Now he's getting buried alive. Oddly, once the dust settles, he finds a girl in his arms. Her name is Yura. The second he sees her, he instantly recognizes her. This girl is the Chapter 2 boss, known as the Cursed Sword Goddess. The item he took was indeed hers, but he never expected her to be there. She leaps from his arms as the system screams danger. His X-rank strength flares as she attacks with a chain strike. He barely dodges. A classic, dangerous, thick-thighed girl. Our boy is scrambling to dodge as she hurls daggers at him. He knows that against a woman like her, it's life or death. With no hope of winning, he pleads it's a misunderstanding. He wasn't trying anything while she slept. Every attack rocks his entire body, even with his talent active. She swings her chain again. He leaps, barely escaping. Then, with flair, she spins like a breakdancer, flinging a dagger at him. Our boy freezes. The blade stops just before his eyes. Then, the attack vanishes. 3.5 steps. That's her maximum combat range. The curses. Mechanism behind her power. The girl sweetly invites him to take one step forward. But he asks, "You'll kill me, won't you?" She nods. Yes. She's impressed this guy already knows her. Talent. An idea strikes him. She's isolated here. No food gets delivered. So he asks, "By any chance, want a high recovery biscuit?" She scoffs. "I won't fall for such a cheap trick. It's not like I'm that hungry." But the second he tosses it, she snatches it, having starved all night. A bit later, she mutters, "I see that was a mistake." Our boy is relieved. He might just live today. She asks why he's here. Knowing the truth is out, he lies, claiming he was sent to feed her. That he had instructions from someone else to care for her. She asks, "Someone I know?" He nods. Yes, and, using his game knowledge, he casually adds, "Don't worry, your sister is doing just fine in the Holy Empire. The Emperor won't bother you two for a while, so stop hiding." Like this, Yuria, from the Holy Empire, is hiding here at Elfante Academy from that very Emperor of her homeland. The sword she carries is a cursed item, the source of her three-step. A curse forced her to flee her home, so he needs to get a message through her sister is safe. She's been through so much, she deserves that peace. We cut to a group of students on a mountain peak. Someone points to the academy below. The legendary arcane constitution. A blonde girl worries. We have to choose our faculties soon. Dodd isn't stressed. This is the game's big info dump. But since he knows it all, he can skip this entire cutscene. A guy asks Ophelia, "What's that strange area over there?" On the horizon, a domed city shimmered. She explains that it's a highly restricted zone. Trespassers will be severely punished. Dodd knew its secret. It's the scar from the war between heaven and hell, where heroes and angels sealed away demons. That was eons ago, but the energies of light and darkness still rage there. With darkness threatening to win, the Empire Alliance built a sacred triangle to stand guard. This place consists of many academies, one being Elephant. The redhead then asked Ophelia if they could get a closer look. She agreed, as long as they stayed within Seraph's barrier. Inside that barrier, there was no danger. Dodd smirked. A perfect chance to slip away. It was time to cause a little trouble. The barrier itself was made by angels from beyond the heavens. The students were now staring at the barrier, their expressions completely dumbfounded. Dodd asked if he could eat away from the group. All the attention was making him uncomfortable. She understood. He was the kid suffering from sudden fame. She allowed it, but warned him not to stray too far. The other students grumbled, calling him a hick who was getting too full of himself. But our boy was already lighting his special incense, made with unicorn horn and a phoenix feather. Where did he even get those who can say with them? He had prepared a powerful thurible, which is just a fancy incense burner. Magic sparked to life as he hoped he hadn't missed a step. Just then, silhouettes appeared. He quickly shielded his eyes, knowing this was a sight no ordinary person should ever witness. A massive flash of light erupted as he heard voices. They were discussing the Allied forces. A man yelled at a recruit to stop digging holes. And then he saw them angels. They stared back, confused. Why was a human here, man? If that angel appears, I'd be happy too. They questioned why the kid was just staring. The commander waved them off. He told everyone to get back to work. Our boy had opened a tiny portal to observe them. A horn sounded as a vehicle arrived. It was carrying sacred blocks, an endless supply. The construction would not be stopping. A blonde angel yelled at a slacker to quit eating cloud biscuits. Meanwhile, our boy watched the bald angel screaming at his crew. I have no clue what is even happening, but sacred blocks are being moved, and another angel is just watching. Dodd knew these angels were basically a military unit. They had a strict top-down hierarchy. In the original game, you'd never meet angels until much later, only after befriending. Some high-ranking ones, and they were always direct about what they needed from you. Our boy arranged his food, muttering, "Itadakamas." As he ate, he overheard the angels. Why does he have so much food? One wondered. Another angel suggested they should ask for some. Are you crazy? We can't go down there for food. A third one shot back. We have blocks to move. Don, however, just smirked. Are you sure construction work is tiring? You all deserve a break, he offered. Strangely, as he spoke, an offering quest activated. Food appeared in the angels' hands. They all smiled. A 10-minute break sounded perfect. You're a very considerate human. One thanked him. Dodd recalled this was a game mechanic. If you offered food, it would multiply in the other realm, becoming enough for everyone. Later, the angels were content. That was delicious. So worth it. The bald angel then noticed the thurible beside Dodd and said, "Just tell us what you want." Our boy was impressed. The guy got straight to the point. No need for negotiation. Dodd had prepared so many bargaining techniques too. To win them over, this was far too easy. The bald angel smirked, knowing the boy must be curious about this special treatment. He noted the boy's keen mind and incredible ability, but it was still completely raw. Investing in him was a smart gamble, and the only reason he was even helping? So that was his angle. But Dodd was clueless about which specific ability. The angel meant perhaps his knack for attracting evil. The angel then declared, "The power you hold is far greater than you imagine. It's a power that will place you above all. The only issue is surviving the attention it attracts." With this new pressure, Dodd knew he needed another route. He never foresaw such a smooth negotiation, or their crushing expectations for him. Another angel chimed in. "So calm while bargaining with angels impressive. You truly do have potential." The main angel shrugged. "Take my blessing and go." Our boy's head was still, reeling from what just happened. But the angel simply vanished, stating Dodd should feel honored by their acknowledgement. The portal snapped shut, leaving Dodd with a deep unease. Even angels warned him to be wary of his own talent. Now his C+ ranked Divine Thor had 2 new skills. First, asceticism, which lets him convert all his stats into Constitution for 20 seconds. And Protective Shield, a C-. Rank skill that creates a barrier, obviously. The blend of his stat boost in critical moments and this all-out defense ability would be the ultimate tool for what else survival? One small problem: they need mana, which he has none of, for now. He needed a temporary solution, which is why he stood before a man asking, "What's your specialty?" alone in front of a shop. The man grunted, "You need a partner first." To which Dodd replied, "My partner is on her way." The guy scoffed. "A loser like you? No way." But our boy knew she was coming. And right then, Elia stumbled in looking completely flustered, as if she hadn't planned to be there with him. Dodd just gave a cool wave, ready to team up. At first, he didn't want to involve the protagonist. But now his mind was changed, especially after the angel's warning, about the grave danger his talent attracts. So he asked, "Still interested in getting to know me better, like you mentioned?" Poor Elia was totally stunned, unsure what to say. But then she remembered all the times he gushed over Elnor, and it clicked. This conniving bastard was just using her to make Elnor jealous. What a delusional fool. The scene jumps to the academy. "Dungeons," Elia asked Dodd. "Are you serious about this, teaming up so suddenly?" She was clearly suspicious. He then told her to look in a specific direction. Because 3 beasts were incoming. A wolf lunged, only to be cleaved in half by her sword. He warned. 2 more, from above. And like that, they tore through the dungeon, a perfect team. All he had to do was call out the direction, and she did the rest, until she finally told him to stop giving orders and actually fight. He completely ignored her, saying 2 daggers were flying at her from the left and right. The attack came that instant, and she blocked them both. Then he warned of incoming arrows and a monster's attack. Once more, she reacted in time to parry. She told him if he could see all this so easily, he'd better use his own strength to help. The issue is, Dodd can't do a thing unless his life is threatened. Since these are fake monsters, they won't kill students, meaning his talent doesn't sense any real threat. He knew he had to raise his base stats for times like this. Suddenly, Elia rushed toward him. For a split second, he thought she would cut him down. Instead, she lopped the head off a monster that was right behind him. He just watched her, looking so effortlessly cool. Damn, she's good. Out of nowhere, confetti exploded. An announcer yelled, "Congratulations, you've broken the record." She was stunned. She fought solo and still beat all the other teams. Dodd shrugged. "Guess we were lucky." But the truth is, our boy chose the most efficient, shortest route. Elia was getting really ticked off with this guy. A little witch had been watching them the whole time. Her name was Percy, and she was the magic instructor there, she remarked. "We'll have to upgrade these mock battles. That was way too easy." The nearby director nods. Understood. But something feels off. This boy's knowledge is almost unnatural. Everyone's focus is on Ilya, but the green-haired man remains fixed on Dodd. Percy finds this baffling. Why him? Ilya did all the work. But the man simply shakes his head. She couldn't have broken that record alone. Anyone with fighting experience sees it. She fought with perfect precision. He was the one pulling all the strings, giving perfect orders at the perfect time, making flawless split-second decisions. Every judgment call he's made has been perfect. Not only is he incredibly calculating, it's like he's run this dungeon 1,000 times before. He turns to Percy. "Let's make a wager." Just then, they're contacted by a superior who's taken an interest in the pair. The man explains his bet with Percy. He's certain they'll smash this year's record. If they do, they can ask for anything she possesses. If not, it's It's fine. What they've already done is beyond impressive. Naturally, Dodd agrees in a heartbeat. Percy is enraged by the kid's sheer audacity. Meanwhile, the glasses wearing. Director chides someone. I know you're stressed, but you can't always be here. Because at that moment, Elnor is collapsed on the floor post-training. She whispers, I'm trying to recall something. She remembers old stories. Her mother told her about a demon haunting the Tristan bloodline. That's what granted them their inhuman strength. But the price was steep. They would slowly lose their minds. It's why the greatest members of her family ultimately descend into madness. The director asks, why this now? Elnor just says, it's nothing. The woman sighs. Here's something interesting. I just learned that Dodd Campbell is taking a test with the hero candidate. The artist really went all out on this Elnor scene. She narrows her eyes. Who is this hero candidate? The woman says. Ililia Crixanks. Elnor is in disbelief. Those two together, she shuts her eyes, breathing deeply and mutters, I'm going there. Back inside, Ilia is questioning Dodd. What's the plan? She knows he's capable, but his confidence is bordering on insane. Dodd knows every single monster's weak point, but he can't say that yet, so he just smirks. Don't worry, everything will be fine since you're with me. The girl blushes slightly, but insists she isn't falling for that line. Then the red-haired observer suggests, you can raise the difficulty for more points. Dodd immediately fires back. Give me the highest difficulty you've got. Percy nearly loses it. That's suicidal, but he just shrugs. It's worth a shot. Obviously, Ilia is less than thrilled. One of the staff members then chimes in, once you start, you can't back out. Percy sips her tea. Fine, but be warned. At this level, the danger is very real. Since the transmission is live, Ilia hears everything, and she starts to get nervous. But the green-haired man reassures them. If things get too hairy, all we have to do is rescue the students. He announces, slaughter mode has been activated. Now, show us your power. Ilia is clearly unhappy, but accepts her fate. Percy can't wait to see them fail. And their friend is basically in tears. Who even is this maniac? But for our main character, the game has completely changed. The creatures are now hostile and can inflict real damage. Danger detected. Since this guy lives on the edge of death, the system automatically unleashes his full power. He readies his blade. A single slash takes the massive pig's head clean off. It looked more like a rhino. Actually, instantly, the green-haired man smirks. I knew it. The boy was hiding his true strength. Ilia looks on, beautifully troubled, wondering why. Dodd always conceals his power, but our guy is now in the zone, ignoring them and erasing the monsters. Percy, meanwhile, is completely dumbfounded. A moment ago, he looked like a total weakling, but the green-haired man explains. You must understand, he enjoys acting weak. He gets her shock, having felt the same way at first. And you can be certain of this. The stronger his foe, the stronger he'll become. Ilia is also landing some incredible kicks. This girl is a powerhouse. And now our boy is in full-on Chad mode, soaring through the air, destroying everything I have. To mention her again, as the artist gave her some special attention. There she is, holding her own, a truly dependable partner. But now she's facing a giant ant. She yells for our boy, who leaps into the air, glowing like a star. He even unleashes a Tristan sword art called Lev. A tempest of attacks strikes the giant ant, which starts to crack apart. And just like that, our power duo, who could honestly make a cute couple, absolutely shatters the record. But as he killed the ant, she was on it, about to crush him. The boy realizes his focus slipped. But then, the creature explodes. It was the green-haired guy, praising our hero, exclaiming, they're incredible for breaking a record like this. Finally, we get a name, as Ilia calls him Professor Conrad. Conrad praises her work, and as Percy arrives, he immediately declares that he's clearly won their little bet. A bit later, Ilia is holding a reward slip. For their amazing performance, they can select one item from the vision storage. Plus, they can ask Percy for any favor. All thanks to that silly bet. She's beaming, and our guy knows this isn't a prize for just any student. Suddenly, Ilia calls to him, asking how he stays so unfazed. She's noticed that in every crisis, he acts like he's seen it all before. Well, duh, because the cheater actually has before he can answer. She extends a hand, suggesting they could become closer friends now. Our hero, however, looks less than thrilled about it. Come on, dude, show some love for the waifus. But even Sophie gently taps her hand, and you can see her curiosity has hit level 5. She was so close to the trust level, holding strong. She then dashes off, excited for tomorrow's Dodd. Someone beside our boy notes they're not sure if she's just friendly or plain weird, and he concurs. This person was our beloved, drawn with immense skill. Thank you. And right then, she asks if he likes that freshman. Our hero is flustered, trapped in that awkward silence, not knowing what to say. As usual. At least his desperate survival skill wasn't flaring up, so he felt relatively safe. He just thinks the question is bizarre. After all, he's her boyfriend, or close to it, and as always, she's drawn stunningly. My God, I'll never get tired of it. She tells him she'll ask him one more time. All right, pal. He better just say if he likes the freshman or not. Just then, danger detected. His very life is now on the line. Man, he really needs to answer this time. Hey, the artist is trolling again. Damn you. You're truly milking this moment, aren't you? There she is, looking gorgeous, awaiting his reply, while this fool is completely speechless. Being the lovable idiot he is, he musters his courage and says he was training with Ilya, but he was missing Elnor. She seems a bit taken aback, calling that sudden. He has no clue if this tactic will work, but there's no way he can win a fight, so placating her is his only move. Elnor smiles, asking if he means he missed her this entire time. He just nods, and now she demands to know why. Oh boy, you'll need to explain that one a bit better. Our girl looks a little flustered, unsure how to respond, and fixes her hair, saying, it's nothing. He can just forget she asked. She assumes he's acting weird because of the train incident, but tells him not to forget his list of priorities. Just like us. Dodd is utterly baffled, with no idea what this cryptic girl is talking about. She then hands him a letter, saying she came all this way just for him. This simpleton wonders if it's a love letter. Yeah, I highly doubt that. Looking a bit shy, she says she planned to give it to him tomorrow, but brought it today instead. Then she turns around, looking divine, and tells him to only read it when he's completely alone. It's no love letter, probably a death warrant. And there he is, holding it tightly, saying he understands. Next scene, he's already regretting opening it. The totally unexpected happened. She asked him to pretend to be her boyfriend. I don't get her motives. Is it for his protection? Or is there something more to it? I doubt she's that smitten with our dear Dodd. For our main character, though, that's not the biggest issue. He just has to hang out by her side at the welcome party. The real problem is the penalty for rejecting her proposal. It won't just change her attitude, but it would also likely destroy her affection level, making it tougher to acquire new skills. Then, a knock at the door. He opens it, certain it's Elia, who notes he's getting sharper. Oh, come on, what now? The other one brought a letter, too. This lucky bastard. I want his life. Without thinking, he mutters another letter, which makes her ask what he means by another. Did he get one already? He quickly denies it, claiming he was confused and asks what she has. She calls it a surprise, something she decided on. After their time together, she has to leave now due to some weird presidential rule. But she urges him to read. But before he can protest, she's already gone, with a playful reminder not to forget. Our hero knows this game all too well. It seems at this party, he's the grand prize for all the ladies. He opens the note, praying for a plot twist. Maybe a group hang with Elia. The problem is, she called it a surprise, a clear invitation to get personal. The battle between the final boss and the stories, protagonist has just kicked off way ahead of schedule. The thing is, this scene was never in the original story. So why is he facing this bizarre dilemma? Pick Elnor, and he becomes the villain to the main character. But pick Ilya, and he earns Elnor's wrath, who might just go full demon mode and kill everything. Rejecting both seems safer, but that carries its own risks. This mess probably started because they're just interested, but that doesn't solve his current problem. How will he escape this? And that's when a crazy idea sparks. Why not just accept both? The scene then shifts to the grand welcome party. Everyone wonders where the VIPs are, until a voice announces their arrival. Right in the center of the canteen, opulent hall stands our dear Elia. She sneers that the place is so crowded, it resembles a common pigsty. She spots our hero, thanking him for being her date. And my God, what is that ridiculous hairstyle? It looks awful. As they walk together side by side, this sneaky mad lad is using a clone ability that cost him 1,000 points. It's just a basic walking clone. And you know what it does? It walks. And talks. That's literally its only function. He blew all his points, but hopes it works. The system chimes in, calling our boy daring, for attempting to 2-time them simultaneously. The mission don't get caught before the party is over. The one rule is simple, never let the original and the clone be seen together. As he's weighing his options, a nearby bear roars, a massive caravan pushes through the crowd, ordering, Everyone to make way immediately. Our sly hero knows they're planning an event with that beast, which is definitely going to escape and cause chaos. He just needs to use that commotion to his advantage, to slip away, ditch the clone, and avoid disaster. Plus, he bought a skill called pheromone. Or maybe not. Actually, that might just be a clone's name. But according to the system, he's no longer just a boy, whatever that's supposed to mean. Oh great, now he's literally smoking. And just then, Elnor appears, declaring she's finally found him. She notes a strange scent and asks if he's wearing some kind of spray. He denies it, blaming it on some flowers. But this girl is incredibly bold. She flat out says whatever the scent is, it's driving her wild. Now, our boy is desperately trying to neutralize this pheromone before things escalate. But of course, the system immediately announces that the pheromone effect has activated on the target, Elnor, and she's now fighting the urge to get very interested in him. Suddenly, she turns, saying it's weird she never noticed before. He's a lot more manly than she imagined. Our boy is internally screaming. He quickly suggests they hurry to the event where it's crowded. His only thought is keeping himself and the clone talking, while he's stuck alone with Elnor. But she's just there, breathing heavily, trying to compose herself. He is just praying she doesn't do something insane. He asks if she's hungry, and she agrees. Of course, why not, even if it's just wild boar on a stick? He thinks this is the perfect plan, trying to make Elnor lose some interest. She's a lady who values her image, so a greasy snack like that should be a complete turnoff, right, wrong. When this girl wants something, nothing stops her. She happily declares that. She absolutely loves them. So much for his genius plan. Guess he doesn't know her at all. Trying to salvage this and kill the mood, he pretends the food is awful, but she just asks why he's still eating it, if he has somewhere better to be. At this point, our hero is genuinely terrified of this woman and just wants to keep his distance. He has to keep Elnor and Elia separated, or this whole night will explode. He stops by an accessory stall. She asks if he wants anything. He says no, but then offers to buy her something if she wants, and immediately regrets it. That's just going to raise her affection level and make this whole mess even worse. This guy is a master of reverse psychology on himself, picking the worst possible gift imaginable, a loose uniform button. He asks if she wants it, but again, this girl is unstoppable. She's actually impressed he noticed something so small, like a missing button on her uniform. He looks like he wants to vanish under her teasing smirk. A bit later, at a table, she asks about his major. He coolly confirms he's chosen theology. You know, the study of divine beings. But Elnor insists he reconsider, given his obvious talent. Becoming a knight seems fated, but he calmly states there's something he must learn within theology. This path wasn't a random choice. Elnor, leaning over the table, demands to know what he's after. He says to protect those he cares for, there are certain skills he must gain. Elnor presses, asking who exactly he's trying to protect. Oh, man, this guy's got a twisted sense of romance. He's really protecting his own neck and stopping Elnor from becoming a demon. His new skills are perfect for survival, and let him watch over her in the process. Smart guy. He admits he's wanted to protect someone since he was a kid. Plus, he knows about the upcoming secret society event, and that chapter's final boss is only weak to holy magic, hence the prep work. Suddenly, the stunning Elnor asks if that's the real reason he's getting so close. She knows all about the Tristan family curse, just as he does. He confirms it the very curse that drives her entire family to madness, and he's sure the only cure is mental training. Eleanor's expression hardens as she asks if he holds the solution. He cuts in, mentioning the blessing of the angels, a special miracle where 2 archangels bless a single person. Elnor confirms that it's real, but it's near impossible. Even the mighty Tristans have always failed to obtain it. That's the source of their fearsome reputation. Again, she demands his true intentions. Why get so close, knowing everything? This is basically a confession now. I thought he wanted distance. But no, he tells her the one he wants to protect is her. Looking both gorgeous and concerned, she asks why. He answers plainly if he doesn't. She will die. That is the simple truth, and he has no other motive. A bit flustered, she fixes her hair, admitting that from the very start. She knew he was a strange one. He just shrugs, saying he's heard that countless times. With that, the whole truth is out. He can only hope it satisfies her intense curiosity. The scene cuts to another part of the party, where Ilya is also calling him weird. The poor girl is stuck with the clone, wondering why he's so silent today. She also questions how they ended up in this basement. All the while, she's plotting to get closer to learn about the Tristan family. The only problem is, she is completely clueless about how to handle a man like him. Truth is, she's terrible with men, and it is driving her insane. She's at a total loss. On top of that, she realizes this place is full of caged monsters. She's practically giving a monologue. Since the clone says nothing, she figures they're academy experiments, but complains it's reckless for the professors to leave. So many of them near students. She glances aside, wondering why they even have monsters this big down here. Approaching a cage, she realizes the beasts aren't properly secured. That's when she spots a beeping device. Before she can even react, the whole place explodes. Thankfully, the Chad clone saves her. This man is flirting with one girl while saving another from a bomb. Naturally, our main couple and everyone in the hall are in total shock. And my God, our boy's back is fried to a crisp, but the girl is safe. His favorability rating just skyrocketed. Barely holding on, he just mutters that it's his job. She's stunned as he collapses next to her. Before she can even think to help, the monster is loose. And of course, they are all high-level creatures. Ilya thanks him for his protection and swears she will now return the favor. Right then, the system triggers a new mission: save as many people as possible. With zero hesitation, he sprints away, leaving Elnor and telling her he has things to take care of, warning her to be careful. She asks where he's going, but he just yells back that he's going to protect the students. Meanwhile, Ilya is exhausted and can barely stand. Our boy dispels the clone and arrives in style to model, vowing they'll have to handle this. But he sees she's already down, surrounded by wreckage. Her wrecked! But she's just glad he's alive. Just then, her status shifts from curious to interested. The main scenario had just changed. She then reveals one creature escaped, and naturally, of course, it was the biggest one. Hugh warns it's loose on the first floor. They need to stop it. Before more people die, our hero knows if he fails, he'll get a massive penalty. So right now, students are panicking before the giant beast, its eyes glowing crimson. One of them raises a barrier, but knows it won't hold, screaming for a professor. With the monster's attack, the shield is already cracking. Elnor announces the Chancellor and Professor Conrad aren't here. On top of that, she can't use her angel's blessing. She orders a priest to raise a barrier, but he claims it's impossible. A sacred barrier isn't something just anyone can whip up. Besides, he says, they just have to wait a little longer. Knights will be here soon. If a few students die, then so be it. She prepares to use the Tristan family's strength, though he knows they're bad news. Dude, stop hating on my girl Elnor. At least our boy arrives in style, declaring he'll take it from here. Everyone gawks, wondering who this madman is. Elnor is stunned by his absolute courage. He isn't hesitating at all. At that moment, he unleashes two abilities he got from the Angel Asceticism and Holy Shield. Instantly, danger is detected and he's plunged into a life or death situation. All his stats immediately shoot up to rank X. The barrier kid asks what the hell he thinks he's doing. Our hero says he's buying time. They have to evacuate the other students. With asceticism active, all of his stats convert to pure defense. The poor guy can't deal any damage, but raises a holy barrier, just in time, blocking the monster's strike. The professors nearby immediately recognize it as a sacred blessing. The beast keeps hammering away, while our hero stands firm in full defense mode. Elnor is just standing. They're frozen, probably falling for him even harder. Strangely, some guy in the back is complaining that even real priests need years of training for this. Bro, he's literally doing it right now. Maybe you should take some notes. And then, Elnor admits that after everything with this guy, she's not even surprised anymore. Watching him get battered, she realizes he has already shattered her expectations so many times. The clueless priest finally gets it. Our boy didn't just make any barrier. He made one strong enough to stop that beast. Suddenly, someone tells the guy to shut his mouth. It's Ilya, smacking him on the head, saying it took him long enough to figure it out. Elnor asks where she's been. Ilya explains she was dealing with monsters in the basement. Sadly, she let this one escape since it was too strong. But now, she wants to know how in the world Dodd is using a blessing like that. As she knows, activating a power like this requires 10 years of training as a combat priest. That 10 years of training line really catches Elnor's attention. She then remembers our hero saying he had something important to learn from the theology department. The sweet words from the boy who swore if he didn't protect her, she would die. You can tell she's more attached because her eyes are rounder now, not as sharp as before. Ilya comments that even if he's using Absemna's stored blessing, his control should have a limit. And she adds that Elnor is extremely lucky. Our lady wants to know what this crazy girl is on about. And suddenly, the artist drops a beautiful panel. Ilya explains she means that Dodd is doing all of this just for her. Looking at the boy's pained expression, and how he threw himself at that creature. Everything he has done so far seems to be for her. Eleanor thinks to herself that she's felt this from the very beginning. She sees herself alone in the darkness, arms crossed, when a light suddenly approaches. I'm not sure what that light is supposed to be, but I know she looks gorgeous as she cleans her sword, thinking this boy is truly different. The beast keeps pounding the barrier, while these useless professors do absolutely nothing, until Eleanor finally steps in, landing a solid strike on the monster's head. Not to praise myself, but damn. She's there, crying in the rain. Poor girl. But she still looks stunning. In the fight, she lands a towel. Clean hit on the back of the creature's head, sending sparks flying. The sheer impact sends the beast crashing, straight into the wall. Dodd is completely dumbfounded, and immediately, the monster gets up and lunges. It's Elnor. Watching her, he sees the true Tristan sword art. She unleashes a silver tempest of thrusts, like a machine gun aimed at the beast's heart. Still graceful and composed, her relentless assault continues as the monster writhes, until her blade nears its neck for the final blow. The monster is sent flying again. There's no way it survived that. Our boy realizes her power is completely different from what he copied. And something else is wrong. She was never meant to be here. The original story didn't play out like this. With that, the mission is officially complete. Since no one died, it's a perfect success. The system even says, knights will arrive in 30 seconds. The truth is, the monster-loving professors are all Tristan family supporters. Elnor's involvement makes it clear her family is somehow responsible for all this. She never gets involved in politics. So why step in now? Meanwhile, students flee in panic amid fire and chaos. But the stunning Elnor just stands, there, staring at him. You good? How are you? She sighs deeply. Finally, it's over. But then, from the flames, the grotesquely mangled monster rises once more. Dodd screams for her to watch out. As she turns, our boy teleports in front of her to shield her. Damn, the beast is just a skeleton now, but it still manages to grab him, already exhausted from blocking the attack. His eyes close sometime later. He awakens in a bed, instantly asking about the monster. A woman tells him to be calm. The creature is dead, and Elnor is safe. This woman is Chancellor Adeline. Closing her book, she asks if he's surprised by her visit. She explains she was waiting for the right moment, since they hadn't properly met after the freshman duel. Our protagonist knows this woman is an immortal who's lived for millennia, so what could she possibly want? He's already worried she'll mention the angel's blessing, but she's here with bad news, and even worse news. He asks for the bad news first, save the worst for last. She tells him he's getting more attention than any other student she's ever known. It seems every major incident has him at its very center, and that's why, from her experience, she knows things are about to get much worse for him. For the other news, she now wants to know what he understands about the demon's future. Our boy's face is a blank slate, and she finds his lack of emotion interesting. Dodd replies that he won't be revealing anything until he understands her true intentions. What are you talking about, she asks, and he mentions that he still hasn't been assigned to a class. She just steps closer, saying she knows he's frustrated by the situation. However, due to the chaos he keeps causing, she's been forced to manage the results with extreme care. He must know that society is incredibly unstable right now. The three great forces are not as balanced as they once were, and all sides are scrambling to recruit powerful individuals. Dodd notes that he's aware of the competition between the three factions. That must be the three powers in that whole triangle formation. The academy was built at the center of it for the great war between heaven and hell. These factions are clashing because each wants to be the one on top. Adeline confirms he is correct. The balance is fragile. While some might call them peaceful neighbors for now, beneath that peace lies a ruthless contest for absolute supremacy. Of course, most students are completely unaware of this, but this silent war is the very reason for all the incidents erupting across the three territories. Dodd remarks he's certain all this chaos must have drawn outside attention. If no one has acted yet, someone must be blocking information from leaving the academy. Adeline seems impressed that he's figured it all out. Our boy gets it. She's afraid someone will try to kidnap him to use in one of the other empires. He asks if that's her fear, and she confirms it. After all, if he gets captured, it would mean the end of the world. Abruptly, he sees a horrifying vision of total destruction. She then holds up a piece of paper, asking if he knows the seal on it. Dodd recognizes it. It's the mark of the purifiers. Adeline is even more stunned. This kid knows absolutely everything. The purifiers are a model, a secret cult that serves demons from the shadows. Their sole aim is to unleash these entities from hell and shatter the world. Elnor's assassination attempt and the Academy chaos, that was their work. Now, their sights are set on the Tristan family. And naturally, there's no saying they won't strike again. He demands to know why she's revealing this, but she simply says that, sadly, she cannot explain. Instead, she offers him an interdimensional key, an impossibly rare item that opens gates between worlds. She notes his expression, saying he must already know its purpose. She vows to watch his progress. If his results please her, she might offer even greater gifts. But she warns him this talk must stay a secret. Then, just before she leaves, she asks about the warrior and the Tristan lady. Our main character freezes up. For a moment, how does this woman know everything? He just says they're fine. She smiles and tells him to ensure it stays that way. A chill runs down his spine. She warns him that if things change, the world itself will end. He wonders why destruction is the only outcome, but she simply tells him it's his fault for being involved. The final plan, she cryptically adds, needs all three of them to succeed. She vanishes, leaving him staring at the key, just thinking. If he should just accept the world's end, a player shouldn't be able to get this item so early in the game, something is wrong. Just then, Connor appears, glad to have found him. Eager to have a word, our boy conceals the key and asks why. The professor explains that although he lacks a specific class, he must attend lessons. He produces a letter explaining that. Inside are his duties, starting tomorrow. The second he sees the names, his face falls. Of course, he's assigned to Elnor and Ilia. All he can think is that the apocalypse is coming. Later, in the training hall, a lecturer drones on about why the sword is the best weapon. The professor rambles about sword theory until Elnor cuts him off, asking if he's focusing too much on theory. She argues such knowledge is useless in a real fight. The professor just freezes, completely floored by his own student. The poor guy just stands there, looking like an idiot. The other students pipe up, saying that now, you can just get shot or blown up by magic, making it all pointless. That is, until Ilia chimes in, arguing that the professor has a point. A truly skilled swordsman could easily dodge magic or parry an arrow. Elnor fires back, saying a bad terrain means the swordsman is doomed. The two begin to argue, with our boy trapped right in the middle, terrified of what's coming next. Just like that, they're practically at each other's throats. Ilia tells her not to disrupt the class. Elnor retorts that, as council president, she must ensure students get proper training. They bicker over theory versus practice while our hero just sits there, wishing the lesson would just continue. He's now stuck squarely between the two of them, and the worst part? The entire class is now staring right at him. But it's unavoidable, since he's seated between the future warrior and the student council president. Just then, Elnor's affection level hits level 1, letting him claim his reward. His mastery over Tristan's sword arts has jumped to 58%. He also gets a Demon Slayer's breathing technique, boosting his stamina. He notes its combat potential, as Ilia watches him closely. Or maybe not. Him, but at Elnor, who's acting innocent. As their bickering goes on, our boy is just thinking it all makes sense. No wonder she's so strong as a demon. And then, Ilia has gone from curiosity level 5 to interest level 1. Another reward to claim. He gets the skill. Rule of Evil. It triggers when he sways good people. And those people are then forced to grant one of his requests. The system adds a warning: keep friends close and your enemies closer. A higher bond with good people yields better rewards, since it's far harder to achieve. Turn them evil, the system says, and the rewards are even greater. Our hero is utterly confused. The system wants him to corrupt everyone later. Deep in the forest, a new trial begins. Survival training. The instructor lays out the simple test. They must enter the woods and find something he might actually like, and they have only 10 minutes. A student asks about points, but the instructor just says that's for them to figure out. The class president will help him judge, and he wishes them good luck. Naturally, everyone is confused. Meanwhile, Ilia is fuming at being judged by her, staring at the system. Our boy wonders how to turn good people bad. Just then, Ilia, looking as radiant as ever, asks if Dodd wants to team up. He bluntly tells her to focus on her own friends, but she insists he's one of them. In his mind, though, he's thinking this crazy girl needs to stick with the protagonist party, the ones destined to defeat the Demon King. And those very heroes are staring right at him. Ilia invites him to join, but he refuses. He knows he'd just become another background character. She looks concerned, asking what's wrong, but he just says it's nothing. They're just not that close. His words catch her completely off guard, leaving her shaken. Turning away, she says, "That's a shame, I see." Even the priestess overhears and looks absolutely devastated. Our boy worries he was too harsh, but he can't risk getting involved with her. Suddenly, someone approaches, calling for Dodd Campbell. A blonde man, hand on his chin, questions his relationship with the hero candidate. Our protagonist knows. This guy. It's Talion Armen, the second strongest fighter after Elia. And with his usual clueless look, he says they just met, that's all. But Talion argues that someone as amazing as Elia shouldn't associate with him. At that exact moment, Rule of Evil activates the system, alerts him that a good person is now enraged due to his influence. Talion keeps mentioning the duel. Results: calling Dodd a weirdo. But our hero is actually delighted. He's finally getting how this whole corruption thing works. Talion pressures him, insisting the duel was a sham. And since this guy is a future mid-boss, our protagonist knows he's the perfect test subject for his ability. So he steps closer, saying the duel wasn't fake. But Talion simply can't accept it. Perhaps seeing his ambition shattered in one hit showed him the gap between them. He says all this while Elia, who was nearby, hears it all, irritated. Talion grits his teeth and proposes a wager. They'll see who gets a higher score on this test, Dodd thinks to himself. This is perfect. Elsewhere, someone calls for Elnor. It's Conrad, reminding her she was supposed to help grade the test, but she doesn't seem to care. That's because Dodd Campbell, despite not finishing the test, already has the highest score. She simply says the boy deserves it. She then adds, if he doubts her, she'll just have to stick by Dodd's side to make sure he is truly worthy. But Conrad puts a hand on her shoulder, warning her he's already noticed. She's always trying to be near him. Eleanor denies it, claiming that's not the reason. She just doesn't want him alone with Ilya. She then asks Conrad to let her follow Dodd, but he warns her to take it seriously, or she's out. Meanwhile, the priestess clutches her rosary, thinking Ilya is acting strange today. In a dazzling display, Ilya is destroying monsters everywhere. The red-haired axe user asks where to find stronger foes. The blonde suggests they should just gather some gems instead. They don't want to get a bad score, and the mage agrees it's the best plan. But then a strange purple sigil begins to form on Aaliyah's chest. Her expression hardens as she annihilates the monsters. The priestess can sense emotions. Though she looks calm, she knows that right. Now, Ilya is furious. She goes to her friend, asking how she's been. Ilya turns, with a fake smile, saying she's fine. But the priestess insists, saying that if something is on her mind, she can just tell her. But Ilya turns away, telling her to drop it. She already said she was fine. Still, the priestess persists, knowing she should just talk. She can tell something is bothering her. Ilya sighs, sits by a tree, and finally caves. Looks like it's pretty obvious. I guess I can't lie to you, Trisha. Her friend sits down, observing that she seems upset. Dodd is pushing her away, despite her friendly intentions. Ilya confesses that's exactly what's happening. It's bizarre, especially after all they've faced together. Yet still, he puts up a wall and insists on a barrier. But Trisha suggests there's a deeper reason for his actions. Ilya is hooked, demanding to know more. Trisha explains Dodd's humble origins. Staying close to her brings scrutiny. Associating with a hero candidate draws unwanted judgment. Ilya wonders if he's doing this for her. Is all of this really for her own good? Her friend nods. She's certain he's only creating distance, to build himself up and become worthy of being her ally. She's positive that he truly values their strong friendship. This guy has insane luck with women. Even when he tries to lose one, fate intervenes. Right now, our lucky protagonist is dashing through the woods. But the power he'd copied earlier is fading fast, and his energy is almost gone. The system alerts him he's affecting someone's destiny, racking up even more points. All because Talion is hunting him with pure rage. And now, our hero gets a new system mission, fueled by raw hatred. His pursuer screams bloody murder, vowing to kill him and roast him on a spit. A spear nearly impales Dodd as Talion unleashes a storm of attacks, yelling at him to stop running and face him like a man. Dodd just tells the guy to chill for a second. The instant Talion halts, he proposes a 50-50 split of the loot. But as Talion roars in fury, our hero detonates a tree as a diversion and bolts. But Talion possesses a warrior's spirit. He poises his spear and hurls it straight at our main character, but a flash of steel intercepts it, slicing the spear in two. Both men freeze in total shock as Ilya arrives, radiating pure confidence. She orders Talion to back off. Her friend. It seems the protagonist's luck just turned. She repeats the order, and a baffled Talion asks, "What's gotten into Ilya?" It's their first meeting since the monster incident. But as she closes in and presses her blade to his throat, she corrects him. "This is our first meeting since the day you lost me." Dodd just wonders where this intense woman came from. and why she's so fired up, the oblivious. Talion, still smirking, claims he missed her and is glad for their reunion. But Ilya only wants to know why he was targeting Dodd. The fool tries to lie, so she sweeps his legs, sending him down hard. He hits the dirt like a sack of trash. Her sword is at his throat again. No more excuses, she warns. A bewildered Talion demands why a skilled warrior like her is defending him. Her reply is simple. He has no right to question the people she chooses as companions. Talion sneers, saying he despises people who think they are better than others. Oh, the irony, you hypocrite. Ilya responds that she is certain Dodd would never be so arrogant. Our boy just stands there, totally lost. Why is she so determined? To protect him, Ilya then warns that provoking Dodd further could be fatal. Talion suddenly realizes that if he'd taken that punch earlier, he'd be dead. Realizing Dodd was no fraud, he immediately falls to his knees and begs for forgiveness, vowing to stay away. Ilya sheaths her blade and says they can all get along. She then walks off, leaving our hero to process what the hell just happened. He's clueless about her fierce reaction, but figures they're still friends. Anyway, enough of this drama. He just needed to get his score. On his way back, he bumps into Trisha, who says they've met. Before, he recalls she's one of Ilya's friends. The girl then says she has something important to ask him, and he instantly senses trouble. Looking awkward, she stumbles over her words, trying to say something. But our hero waves her off, saying his score comes first. However, Trisha finds Ilya's behavior very strange. Normally, she'd talk things out with Talion. This time, however, she drew her sword to settle it immediately. Trisha realizes Dodd is a huge problem, and our protagonist has an issue. When he finds Conrad, the aftermath of a massive fight is clear. It seems the professor had to go all out to stop the student council president from hunting our boy. She had been absolutely determined, matter what. So Conrad said she could if she beat him first, which is why she was on the ground, looking totally drained. He tells her to get up, commenting on her vast improvement. At this rate, she'll surpass him very soon. Dodd, completely uninterested, just wants his score so he can leave. Conrad had nearly forgotten the test, asking what he brought. Our hero apologizes for the delay, but says he found the absolute best ingredients. He reveals a bag of rare gems, earning an instant first place from the professor. Ilya would definitely go crazy for this. With the mission complete, he figured he should talk to Elnor since she was getting ticked off. But Trisha appeared, asking if he was done. The professor leaves, and Trisha suddenly explodes, telling him to protect Ilya, but also not to get too close to her. Apparently, Ilya acts weird around guys, which makes absolutely zero sense, so he just responds with a simple, all right. He waves her off, promising to do his best as Trisha watches. She thinks he better keep his word if he wants to stay in one piece. She starts healing Elnor while pondering a simple truth. Ilya may seem peaceful, but it's a terrible idea to cross her. Later, at the magic department, Percy asks if he's finally using that favor. He says yes. He needs a favor from the goddess of magic. Percy tells him to stop bothering her, warning that she can't handle anything too complex these days. He retorts that she won't be the only one working to pull this off, but she snaps back that nobody would have to work if he just forgot that. Cursed favor. Our boy notices the entire room is staring at him, but he has to prepare for the coming battle. She sighs, saying the promise binds her, so she'll do it. What does he want? He gulps. One of his rewards from Ilya, worth 500 points, was an evil seed for the special abilities shop. He currently has a negative mark on Ilya, letting him use the rule of evil to make her do anything he wants. The same applies to Talion, who also has a mark, his abilities, and everything he's gathered would be perfect for the next fight. The problem is, he's still far too weak for the challenge ahead. But he has a solution. He declares that he needs a cannon. One strong, enough to blow the entire academy to smithereens. Percy, naturally, asks if he's completely lost his mind. She stares at him like he's a madman. She says building it isn't actually that hard. The real issue is his plan for using it, but he cuts her off, saying the contract forces her to grant any wish deemed ordinary. A cannon is hardly unusual, so she has to make it. Percy retorts that building a weapon that can vaporize the school is anything but ordinary, but our hero insists he's not going to use it to harm anyone. Something just needs to be dealt with before it escalates. Of course, she replies, that this explanation is even more worrying. But with a sigh, she agrees, trusting he has his reasons. Since he's helped with the monster crisis, she'll show some faith and build the cannon he desires. Then she mutters that she can't believe the Chancellor trusts this guy, a guide who's already building his own harem. She's even starting to think he might actually save the world. He asks what the hell she just said, and she freezes, realizing she spoke her thoughts aloud. She's completely flustered. He tells her to relax, mentioning he has one more request. That's when it hits him. He can pick any item from the Vision's storage as his record-breaking reward. Later, while walking the halls, he thinks, now that the cannon is approved, he just needs the exact materials for it, thanks to his interdimensional car. That should be easy enough. Suddenly, a man with a cane calls out his name. He asks what he wants. But wait, that guy looks exactly like the man from that blood-soaked photo. Oh yeah, this creep is definitely the next villain. The man smiles, feigning surprise. What a coincidence running into him here. He introduces himself as Galler Riverbach, who runs a charity called the House of Purification. Our hero finds this joke hilarious, knowing it's just a front for money laundering. This bastard is the chapter boss, the leader of the Blazing Fire. The man says he's heard a lot about him, the one who's been slaying monsters and always seems to be close to Elnor. That's not something an ordinary person can do. A truly remarkable young man. He offers a business card, saying that when he meets such an extraordinary student, he always looks forward to their bright future. He invites the boy to dinner, asking if he's free. Not a chance, old man. There's already a long line of women wanting to treat him to dinner. Our boy is absolutely ruthless. This conversation was already way too much. The story's code was glitching right before his eyes. This guy was supposed to go after Aaliyah and her brother. So why was he making a move on him? Had the system bugged out? And tagged him as the main character that would completely derail the entire plot. So he played dumb. He just tells the guy it was a joke and they'll consider dinner. With that, the man leaves, setting the date for 3 days. Their meeting place the Twilight Eye. Dodd knew he was completely cornered now. But it was better than that guy getting close to Ilya. The Twilight Eye was a high-class restaurant near the academy, and the card Galder gave him was practically pulsating. He had no choice but to accept. This was a main story event, and the system only offered 2 options, yes or no. For a main quest, the answer was always yes, because if he dared deviate from the plot, he was dead. He replayed every encounter, every choice he'd made so far, trying to find a loophole, some way to survive this. After analyzing everything, he realized that beating the Purifier wasn't entirely impossible. What made no sense was why he was stuck playing Aaliyah's part. He decided to table that thought for now and focus on the immediate problem. With a deep breath, he knocked on a very specific door. He called out, asking if she was in. And who was she, Elnor? Of course. For once, this troublemaker wasn't in her school uniform. She demanded to know what he wanted, and he quickly calmed her down. He said she didn't even need to open the door. He just had to ask something. She told him to spit it out. And our boy, looking incredibly awkward, finally asked, "Are you free in 3 days for dinner?" While she was processing this, a girl with glasses behind her started nagging about some overdue books. She borrows them, but never reads them. The complaining didn't stop until Elnor finally told her to be quiet. Her attention back on Dodd. She asked if it would be just the 2 of them. He lied. Yes, when she asked where, he named the Twilight Eye. Immediately, her friend gasped, noting it was a famous spot for romantic dinners. Elnor simply said she already knew. Now, she wanted to know his reason for asking. He promised to explain everything when they met. And just like that, she became a flustered, adorable mess. The next scene opens in a field of flowers, a voice calling out for Elia. He asks what she's doing out here, but with a teary voice, she begs to be left alone. He tries to apologize for his little prank, but she whirls on him, furious. That's a lie. Pushing someone off a mountain is no joke. He swears it was an accident, but she retorts he needs to stop hitting his own little sister. Then he offers her a small package, saying he just wants her to be strong enough to protect herself. She snatches the bread, asking if he stole it. Of course not, he insists. He just bought the leftovers because they were cheap. He then mentions that thanks to the Baron, he might be promoted. She asks what that means. He explains he'll be sent to the battlefield to gain some real-world experience and maybe even earn the title of Guardian. She just scoffs, telling him to stop dreaming. Someone who hits his sister could never become a Guardian. He simply replies that life is full of mysteries, but she asks the question on everyone's mind. Isn't he afraid he'll die on the battlefield? He claims that will only happen if he's unlucky. He's way too skilled for that. Impossible, he says. Enraged, she screams that she hopes he gets unlucky and dies, since all he ever does is hit her. Not to mention, he ignores their parents and only cares about his sword. He just laughs, promising that when he becomes a Guardian, he'll always be there for her. Back in the present, she's woken by a knock on her door. It's our main character, looking incredibly sheepish. He makes up an excuse about being from the countryside and not knowing the local customs. That whole "we're not friends" thing was a total lie, and he wanted to apologize. He even brought her some cookies. He said they were really good. She just snatches the box from his hands and tells him to stop, apologizing because it's just weird, especially since they are friends. Turning away, she says she is going back to sleep. But he stops her with one last request. He needs her to come somewhere with him, urgently. She can't help but wonder if this guy has lost his mind. Meanwhile, Elnor is at her desk signing documents. Looking gorgeous as always, it seems to be a review of material costs and club funding requests. The girl with glasses comments that all that's left is to check the new transfer students. It seems one of the incoming students is from the Tribal Alliance, but she lost her position. She's the daughter of a leader there, which basically means she and her people are now exiles. Her name is Lulu Garuda. And after that devastating me strike, yeah, if that's the girl with the thigh tattoo, I'd be terrified. Eleanor simply replies that the name sounds familiar. Next semester, an actual saint from the Holy Empire will be arriving. Eleanor asks if this girl is coming alone, and her friend scoffs. Of course not. She's guaranteed to bring an entourage. At that, our brilliant student council president begins to connect the dots. A saint and an exiled tribal daughter arriving so close together, it can't be a coincidence. She slams her desk, certain someone is pulling the strings. Her friend just sighs. This place is always a chaotic mess. Eleanor admits she sometimes forgets that. She apologizes for her outburst, blaming it on stress and promises to cool down. Under the moonlight, our hero is lying back, remarking he had no idea the school had an official observation hour. The night sky is gorgeous. Ilya is right beside him, asking if this is really necessary right now. The madman just tells her to be patient. It's about to start. Wait, are they sitting on a catapult? Are they seriously about to be launched? This area is usually restricted to high-level users, but he has a special pass from the Chancellor. Then he says, "Here it comes," and they are literally flung into the air. He tells her to focus and keep her eyes open as they slam into a portal in the sky, just as he activates the interdimensional card. When he told her to keep her eyes open, she had a flashback to her brother, who used to say the exact same thing. Poor guy. He did warn her this might be a little rough. They vanished in a flash of light. And remember how the last chapter ended? Aaliyah and our boy jumped into that massive hole. He warned they don't have much time. Inside the interdimensional space, it's best not to touch anything, since it can be extremely dangerous. He hops from rock to rock like he owns the place, telling everyone to just chill. There's no gravity here anyway. They just need to get a little higher. Aaliyah asks what he's even looking for, and he just says she'll see soon enough. But she's still petrified, clinging to a small rock before deciding to jump as well. She's immediately thrown downwards and starts to fall. Then, suddenly, the scene shifts. In a place consumed by fire, Aaliyah asks if they're really abandoning their mom and dad. Her brother tells her not to worry. He will handle their parents. If she sees any descendants of the apocalypse, she has to hide. She grabs his cloak, calling his name, asking what will happen to him. She knows the truth. Their parents are gone. Everyone is gone. He's all that's left. He shoves her away. Get away from me. If they escape together, they'll both be hunted down. She has to remember he's her brother and her protector. And right now, her only job is to run as far as she can. They'll meet again soon. On the mountain, where he always trained. Then he tears off his cloak and says his goodbye. Go, now. He claims he'll be right behind her. But will he? Then, a hand from nowhere grabs her arm. It's our boy, telling her she doesn't realize she's falling, but she's moving incredibly slowly. He pleads, "Hold on, Ilya. For the love of God, you'll get used to it, a little." Later, they're on a rock before Gregory's pavilion. He pulls out a bag that immediately starts absorbing the ambient energy. He seals it, and it inflates like a balloon, but then in the blink of an eye, everything turns pitch black. Giant teeth materialize, and he shouts, "It's an interdimensional beast, time to get out." Our hero says they need to collect anything the creature drops. Ilya is completely baffled, getting covered in slime as the monster tries to swallow them whole. It seems they managed to land on solid ground, just as he predicted. The card's effect lasted long enough. He asks if she's okay, but she's completely covered in monster drool. He deadpans. "Yeah, not a good look." And she explodes. "So that's it, you jerk?" "You knew all of this would happen. Even that we'd have to run," he replies. "Yes, all according to plan." He's thinking that farming Gregory's region early is basic stuff for a pro gamer, like him. But she demands to know why he didn't warn her about the interdimensional realm. He says, "Obviously, because I knew you wouldn't follow me if I told you." She hurls the bag at him. He notes she already filled it, but she can't believe he dragged her through that nightmare. The main character keeps apologizing, but Aaliyah's affection stat is rising. It hits 4. And he's just standing there thinking, what is wrong with this woman as she storms off, drenched in ectoplasm, all because she got flustered flying next to him. In the next scene, the girl is tying up her hair, looking sweaty and ready for action. She asks if it's time, but Dao says he doesn't know what she means, but he brought back a psychic entity. She switches gears. Oh, my lovely little artist. You're so amazing. Seeing the bag, she asks if he actually went to the interdimensional region. He's like, yeah, isn't that why you gave me the card? She replies, I didn't think you'd go so soon, but more importantly, what happened to your hair? Our hero explains Percy zapped him with a lightning blast. She then says, now I must analyze this. Interdimensional ectoplasm. He asks if it's enough, and she beams. Of course it is. He sees his opening and reminds her about the special something she promised him if she was satisfied. She tells him to just ask, already, since it cost her a fortune. So, he says he wants a favor instead of a gift. An item that contains a psychic entity, a weapon with the soul of a legendary historical figure. She closes her eyes, considering it. She warns that the consciousness inside might grow stronger and fully awaken. But this just makes her more excited about his choice. He's about to name the item he wants, but she cuts in. First, let me ask you something. What is your real motivation? Talk about killing the mood. Then she tells him to be professional. This is after he just killed an assassin with his bare hands and even defeated a hero candidate. So why does he need to get even? Stronger. Our main character knows the endgame. Monsters are on a whole other level. He's also tied to Ilya, and Elnor now. He counters with his own question, why is she helping him so much? She tries to play it off, saying she hasn't helped at all. He calls her bluff, saying she should be asking how he knew how to enter an interdimensional region, knew of psychic entities, or how he's been stopping all these monsters. Images of Percy and Elliot flash by as he notes that the academy has been revolving around him. On top of all that, even small decisions are being guided by the chancellor. So why is she throwing her full support behind him? She just pouts, not liking his tone, and claims she's only doing it because he's cute. Our protagonist just scratches his head. He realizes it's a stalemate. She won't talk if he won't. But that's fine. As long as he gets that psychic weapon, he'll power up and be ready for Chapter 2. But first, he has to clear Chapter 1's main mission purifier. He needs to resolve the incident that occurs at the stroke of midnight. Just then, a voice calls his name. And with those pouty lips, we all know who it is. It's Elnor, looking uncharacteristically well-behaved. Her uniform is usually way more revealing than this. She says she's been waiting since 6. This new Elnor completely throws him off, and he stammers that she seems different. She calmly explains she found a place nearby to wait for him, then asks if this is his first time off campus as a freshman. He's a mess, trying to figure out what to say as she asks why he won't look her in the eyes. His brain is just repeating that this is definitely a date. But she doesn't hesitate for a second. She grabs his hand, saying they need to hurry because the line is long. When they arrive, there's a massive crowd. Our hero thinks they have no chance of getting in. Meanwhile, a certain blonde guy up front is calling out number 27 and 28. Dao asks, Talon, what are you doing? Here. The guy looks embarrassed. It's my part-time job. My family cut off my allowance. Then he gets nosy. But what is the student council president doing here with you? What's the relationship between you two? Now Dao is the one who's feeling the pressure. What are they? It's a date, but what can he say? Elnor saves him, declaring, with the authority of the student council president, I get priority entry, right? Talon agrees. But before they enter, Dao asks what that necklace is that Talon is wearing. Talon explains it's from the Purity Foundation, run by the Marquise of Riverbeck. The item supposedly detects any malignant order and will display authority over him. Basically, a mind control device. Dao immediately tells him to take it off for the night, and to check if any other staff are wearing one. The blonde guy is confused but agrees since Dao is the one saying so. Dao knows that because of his rising affection levels, the story is changing. And that means the Marquis' plans are changing too. The chance that this ends as just a simple dinner model, and his leave count is 0. The plot is definitely cooking something up. Plus, the lovely Elnor is right by his side. Life is going suspiciously well. Then, bam. A cane slams down. A voice booms. A pleasure to meet the young miss, Tristan and student Dowd. His mind instantly shifts to combat mode. A new main. Mission appears. A villain seeks your favor. Escape this situation. The man asks, Miss Tristan, may I borrow? Dowd for a brief moment, Elnor immediately steps in. And why is that? But Dowd just says, relax. It is fine. Another man offers to guide her to the VIP lounge. She looks puzzled. The Marquis claims it's fascinating how close they are. But no matter, after their talk, she can join them in the VIP area. Luxury drinks are served. The man asks if Dowd knows why he's here. Dowd cuts right to the chase. You want to discuss your insane plot to revive demons. Right security is lax during the Moonlight Festival, after all. The perfect time for a massacre. You'd use the resulting blood and death to gather demonic energy, unleash monsters everywhere, with assassins to eliminate the knights, all to awaken the demon in the Tristan bloodline. Too bad for you. I already told the Chancellor everything. So, what's your plan for today? The man is stunned speechless from the first sentence. The Marquis thinks, so this is why the Prophet favors him. He looks like a fool, but he's dangerously shrewd, far beyond his years. This boy is no ordinary child. Then the Marquis smirks. Incredible, but it is a shame my men have already dealt with Miss Tristan. You didn't account for that. On cue, bang, she boots the door wide open, her red dagger drawn, looking absolutely fierce. Flashback to moments earlier, when his men approached her, noting she seemed on edge. She recalled what the protagonist had told her. President, some demon worshippers will target you. I know about your madness, but sometimes it is better to let it loose. Just then, a goon touches her shoulder. A fatal mistake. Get your hand. Off her. Her power explodes. The world turns monochrome, her demonic eyes glowing. Her orders were to capture him alive. She detonates the first guy's head on the table. The rest immediately surround her. From all sides, 2 more charge. She kicks one in the face with inhuman flexibility. The other gets a blade to the neck. They are instantly shredded. The mere reflection from her cursed blade slices through the others. The survivors run, in terror. The Marquis can't believe it. What happened? Meanwhile, the president wipes her massive blade on her arm. She remarks that she feels refreshed. Just like that, Eleanor's affection rises to friendship and her madness is cured. All thanks to you. She turns to Do, saying this ruined their outing. So, they absolutely must have a new date. At that strange moment, an exclusive quest appears. He's caught the eye of Gideon, her father. Before he can process this, the Marquis rips something from his own chest. A demonic essence. The protagonist yells for Elnor to stop him from consuming it, but the Marquis opens his mouth, declaring he will receive God's grace. We all know what that means. We cut to the small house icon. An immense blast of dark energy erupts. Next chapter, 8. Protagonist's hand emerges from the rubble. He crawls as the villain gloats. This is wonderful. He never wanted to use this power before the prophets, but now he'll see how the infamous Dowd Campbell dares to face it. The transformed villain now hovers in the sky. Dowd thinks this world is out to get him. This monster is a creature. That should appear much later. Now, a mission pops up. Defeat him and keep casualties. To a minimum. But the bigger threat isn't the boss. It's all the nearby demon worshippers who've just been revived. They're all coming to attack. Someone shouts, Professor Dowd's lethal slash. And Dowd just thinks, who named that ridiculous skill? It's Talon, beside Elnor. He's glad to be alive, but asks what those things are. Dowd explains, if you still wore that necklace, you would be one of them. Talon instantly realizes it is the Marquis' doing. He says, all right, if you don't want to be trapped in this hell, listen to me, carefully. Talon is all ears. I will listen to every word, Professor Dowd. Meanwhile, Elnor is all fired up, too. She stands there, slightly flushed, whispering, wow, even in this dangerous situation, he is thinking strategically. She trails off, impressed. But our protagonist already has a complete plan formed. She asks if he knows where the Marquis went, and he says he has a hunch because demon worshippers all crave the same thing to unleash chaos and despair in the name of their sacred land, a realm known as Pandemonium, and they plan to turn this entire world into their twisted paradise. And that's his destination. He's already at the Angel's Barrier. The demon sneers, vowing to damage the seal. Then he's warped inside. He looks back, demanding to know how our hero was already waiting there for him. Our boy just smirks. It was simple. You gained a demon's authority, so you'd head straight to where the evil is sealed. Okay, Elnor, let go. Wow, he got dragged in just like that. What a perfect trap. The demon thanks them, saying this saves him the trouble of hunting for the Tristan girl and our hero. But the protagonist declares that no matter what, the two of them will absolutely survive this encounter. Elnor feels a strange unease. She can't grasp why he places so much faith in her. But for her family's honor, she must live up to that trust. Okay, this sudden romantic tension is something I can get behind. And she charges in. A vicious slash cuts across her chest. From the ground, Our hero yells for her to keep pushing forward. He warns her the demon is not leaving this place. Lightning crackles everywhere as our boy weaves and dodges. The demon is stunned. How is this human avoiding every single attack? Oh no, another slash hits her leg. It's unclear what happened, but lightning just yanked her away. The protagonist is still on the ground, using combat imbuement. The demon screams at the insect to stop running, but Elnor appears behind him, saying the exact same thing, calling them annoying. The creature claps its hands. A lightning bolt nearly fries the protagonist, who barely rolls clear. The demon's essence begins to pulse. He summons the fangs of darkness, an attack rushing to grab our boy. But then, someone activates the divine shield. The lightning strikes, and it seems to hold, but at the same time, it slams into his chest. He's thrown back, his head smacking the ground, blood filling his mouth as the demon begins to laugh. The monster mocks him, saying he's tough, but has clearly played his final card. Elnor shouts for the protagonist to get up, vowing to buy him some time. The demon remarks on her tenacity. He calls them a perfect couple. Don't say things like that. You'll make her blush. And just like that, she's lost in thought. On the train, she saved him with her shield, but he was the one who ultimately sacrificed himself to protect her. In the dungeon, she was the target, but he was the one who faced down the assassin. He has always protected her. Now, she thinks, it's her turn to pay him back. The vitality necklace drops onto our protagonist, restoring his health. Her stamina recovers as she gets ready, vowing to believe in him until the very end. The demon laughs mockingly. He says her resolve brings tears to his eyes. But their time is up. Elnor suddenly cuts him off with a question. I was expecting some grand declaration. Instead, she asks, in your eyes, do that boy and I make a handsome couple tonight? The demon is floored. What kind of question is that? He growls a yes, but asks if she's planning to become a housewife. She just smirks, vanishes, and then reappears with a kick straight to the monster's face. Her eyes are now pitch black, completely possessed. A flurry of slashes follows. Every limb is struck in a pentagram pattern, using her family's ultimate technique. The creature is slammed, hard into the ground. The entire area cracks as the confused demon demands to know what just happened. But our protagonist has vanished. The demon calls him a rat. Elnor simply replies, no, as the creature backs away. It tries to retreat, asking what other hidden card she has. Meanwhile, at the university, Conrad's team is regrouping. He announces they've finally handled the situation. Ilya says they were lucky everyone mobilized so quickly. Percy credits our hero, saying they were prepared because of his warning. Conrad agrees, saying he owes the kid dinner. Without him, things would have been far worse. But the scene shifts back to our hero, utterly broken. He says he's found what Talion left. He reaches for it, enduring the agony for Elnor's sake. And then, she's the one who crashes headfirst into the dirt right beside him, looking at them. The demon gloats. The Tristan daughter is truly tenacious, but it's over. You have no more tricks left. A bolt of lightning pierces our hero's chest as the demon yells for him to die. Elnor screams in despair as the world turns black and white. As the demon prepared another attack, the protagonist's deadly charm activates. A system message appears. This notification makes zero sense, but she has transformed. Our boy looks terrified at what he's seeing. The comments say those little horns are useful in certain situations to raise the intensity. I have no idea what they mean. If you catch my drift, the world turns black and white as an ominous message appears, directly threatening our hero. The meaning is cryptic, but Elnor is now possessed, sounds chilling-like. She's completely snapped. He realizes part of his system is disabled, his abilities stolen, and this thing is using Elnor's body as a puppet, revealing a demonic fragment. And that deadly charm? It's still active, attracting all sorts of evil creatures. The more extreme the emotion, the stronger its pull. The demon girl glides over, places a hand on his chest, and whispers, I love you. The words are faint. She strikes, leaving a brand on his skin. The mark of the fallen, promising something. It's vague. It's total chaos. But he sees time itself reversing on his wound, rewinding into the past. As a possessed Elnor just hovers there, he knows this thing. It's the ultimate creature, the game's final boss, and it's acting disturbingly friendly. The future is uncertain. But his goal is simple, survive and claim his prize. Then he recalls that trump card he saved, the power to copy an ability, but the pressure is immense, like his body could shatter at any moment. His very skin is about to tear, but he must copy a skill. A being this powerful is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. He needs to stand with her in the future. Just then, a crazed Elnor claps, smiles, and says, We'll meet again. I'll make sure of it. Before she vanishes, the demon launches another attack at the main character. The creature seems confused, wondering where the boy disappeared. Then, a presence emerges from behind, as The demon turns. A brilliant light consumes the sky, crashing down. Smoke billows everywhere. The creature roars. How? Is this possible? Our protagonist lands directly before it. With the stakes this high, our boy's life is on the line, but a survival skill activates at X rank. And now, a new skill. Is his sovereign of pandemonium. Huge advantage against demons for the next 5 minutes. Our boy is just farming that sweet aura. Elnor is half conscious as the demon screams. How can a pathetic thing like you do this impossible? Our boy charges. A single punch lands squarely on its face, and the monster is sent flying. Dard declares. Time for round 2. You know, I've got a theory that's a bit backward. Here, our hero gets juiced on demon power and becomes the new final boss. Can you imagine? The demon screams that the prophet never spoke of him, then we cut to it getting absolutely obliterated. Smashed into the dirt. The creature staggers up. Something's wrong. He shouldn't have this power. It spits blood, growling that it makes no sense. He sacrificed for countless years and trained eons to obtain this body. How does this brat suddenly have his power? Welcome to main character privileges. He stomps the ground, roaring in frustration and activating a black mist, using demonic energy to amplify his strength. Blessing of Tark's soul is amplified by the black mist. In short, he's powering up. Our protagonist rushes in, his face cloaked in shadow. It's a flurry of blows, face to face. Pure Dragon Ball style combat. A clash of titans, energy beams everywhere. But the creature snatches him with a huge hand, grabbing our protagonist's head. But the kid summons a massive shield with golden wings. The demon is totally stunned. He has divine protection. How can a demon use holy power? Our hero answers by driving a knee, right into its jaw. The creature bounces across the landscape, skipping over hills like in Dragon Ball. This fight is a total tribute. Our boy even drops a classic overhead elbow. The impact is so massive, it's like the thing got launched by a trebuchet. The demon is dazed and our hero is already there, whispering. I don't get it. Our boy says he was right to keep this, then presses a button, flinging the creature far away. The demon screams it'll rip him apart. But our boy pulls out a cannon from a distance and says his last words are terrible. Then he fires a bazooka, melting the creature, which gasps. How did you predict this? Too late. The kid won the fight Dragon Ball style and finished it with a Looney Tunes catapult. My dare. With that, the mission is complete. He gets a hero fragment and 5,000 points. He realizes he got way more than he planned. The difficulty must have secretly skyrocketed. He can't help but smile, until he remembers he must check on Elnor. But then he feels a small shoe tapping his back. Oh, it's the droopy shirt girl calling to him. Miss Elnor is fine, but now he's got a lot of explaining to do. And everything he knows about the Grey Demon, our hero just asks what she means. She says it's painfully obvious he's involved with the demon. The scene then cuts to Elnor, needing a blood transfusion. She's completely shattered. Don't you dare hurt my waifu. Someone's yelling, asking why the priestess isn't here. The scene snaps back to the woman grilling our boy, saying the authorities are watching everything that happened here. And with the demon's presence confirmed, he's now under investigation. This kid is trapped in the eye of the storm, forced to explain everything. He thinks he already gave up his quiet background character life. Now he's dealing with demons directly. He smirks. Well, honestly, I just got lucky. Pandemonium's strongest, the Grey Demon, seems to have some kind of interest in me. The Chancellor replies they know that Demon chose Elnor as its host. And then she just says, "That's fine, I won't question you." Just like that. Yeah, okay. She tells him to rest. But then, our protagonist collapses onto the floor like a total idiot. Can't even stand. And then, what is this magic? Did she use teleportation? He suddenly ends up sleeping on her thighs. He's not complaining as she tells him to be aware of other fragments scattered about that could manifest any time. She's explaining this while our boy blushes, remembering it's obvious. In the story, other demons appear as more girls become vessels of evil, like the Crimson Demonist causing the Red Knight incident. The trouble is, this demonist changes who it chooses to possess. As the story progresses, the only constants are the plot, points involving Elnor and Elia. The Chancellor tells him to remember the Holy Empire has extremely powerful intelligence. They've likely already flagged Elnor as a potential demon vessel. The main character is confused. If she knows that, why does it feel like she is trying to gather all the demonists in one location? She explains that a former vessel once fell deeply in love, and as a result, the demon fragment was completely destroyed. It seems love conquers all evil. For a second, our protagonist thinks this has nothing to do with him. It just sounds like a classic tale until the Chancellor says, "It looks like the Grey Demon likes the boy. He's just staring at her thighs, thinking she must be insane." Yeah, right. But she retorts that it's not his decision. What's important is the demon's interest, her. Reader is right there. No way out. In that military uniform, she's untouchable. And our hero hears her say that she already approves of his judgment and skill. That is why she wants to make a sincere request. Please, seduce the demon vessels. The protagonist jerks back like, what are you talking about? Are you mad? Out of your mind. She says she'll help him make his flirting game perfect. He shouldn't worry since all the current targets are girls, so he's fine. We have our military queen, the shy one, and the tribal girl with those thighs. Damn, she is a goddess. There is a little witch, too. And that one is trouble. The Chancellor says, he's already been blessed and won over the gray demon, so the others should be much easier. But the main character thinks, if I was that skilled, I wouldn't be a cursed virgin. The woman keeps insisting this is the only way to eradicate the fragments and save the world. So convenient. Get with every girl in school so the world can be saved. He doubts. So you don't believe in love you don't see. That this is wrong? It's basically cheating. You know that, right? But she says he doesn't understand. His targets aren't normal people. They are demon worshippers with obviously unusual tastes. So his version of normal is nothing to worry about. Still, she sincerely begs him to save humanity. All our hero can think is that he needs to escape this mess. Then he asks, Chancellor, have you considered what happens if I fail to seduce them? She replies that he knows in chapter 14, humanity is annihilated and the world falls into ruin. Essentially, a demon-ruled empire is established. He just curses whoever designed this cursed game. In the comments, people want to add the Chancellor to the harem. Relax, folks. There are already 6 to handle. And the most important one is just now waking up, asking where she is. Her friend runs in, asking when she was finally going to wake up. Elnor then asks if she missed class. Her friend immediately dives in to grab her, thighs, crying to the stream that she finally woke up. She was so worried. She thought she had died. Elnor tells her to relax and asks what happened to our boy. The friend wipes away her tears, saying, he was already released. He wasn't even that badly hurt. Elnor finds this odd. Wait, I was nearly dead. But Dao was completely unharmed. Flashback time? Elnor is unconscious as her friend worries. She's been out for 2 days. What? If she dies, I'll kill him. But Dao just tells her to relax. The president wouldn't fall so easily. She'll wake up soon, I guarantee it. His friend demands to know how, and he explains. Because he's alive, and the Tristans are strong. She wouldn't throw her life away for someone, like him. Back in the present, her friend finishes the story. Now that Elnor's awake, it's time for a reality check. Elnor, still bandaged, protests. Can't I heal first, but her? Friend isn't having it. Straight to the point. Apparently, she's contacted 2 troublemakers. Looks like demons aren't the only problem now. St. Luciana is heading to the city. Elnor is confused. Here, now I thought she was coming next semester. Her friend doesn't know. All she knows is she arrives next week. With the demon attacks, the Holy Empire wants a bigger presence. Then she brings up the next person. Elnor asks who, cut to. A guy slaughtering a giant monster. Nope. It's Sir Gideon. And he's coming to the academy. Excuse me. This is a harem story. Buddy, no guys allowed. Except he's Elnor's dad. Well, yeah. That's a problem. Our main character's fun is officially blocked. The scene changes to a window where the saint is smoking St. Luciana. I thought you were a good girl. She's a total rebel, even calling the light unpleasant. The man at the window finds it odd for a saint to hate the light. She retorts that a life in a dark chapel would change his mind. A boy, who's giving off Major Joffrey vibes, calls the chat too negative. She sighs and tells him to just close the window, but he's annoying, wanting to peacefully soak in the sun. She points out the irony, peace with a demon worshipper and a saint in one room. He'd hoped she'd be friendlier. She reminds him of the tension when they first met. They're allies of convenience only. It's absurd to imagine they'd ever be at peace. A dark aura surrounds him as he thinks about humans holding her leash, while her fate is truly in his hands. She shrugs it off. Valkis can think what he wants. At least she has someone to protect. Yep, this saint is definitely going to be trouble. Scene change. Our protagonist gets a letter from his dad. Summer's here, and it's hot as hell. He's told to eat well and stay hydrated. With harvest season approaching, they're sending Herman to help him with anything he needs. His home, the Campbell region, is peaceful, so he shouldn't worry. His father's only request. Don't stand out. Stay average. Not too good, not too bad. Just blend in. Oh, and if he gets a girlfriend, he should bring her home for vacation. While they diamo. Letter says this. We see a small photo of Elnor. Our main character is glad his dad didn't visit. In front of him. Is Hermine ready to help with anything? Just speak slowly. Our hero knows this guy is useless. At least he brought grapes from home. As our guy eats, he mutters, at least they're seedless. Onlookers start whispering. He brought a servant, who does he think he is? He must think he's a noble. So, our protagonist tells Herman to act more like a friend than a servant. Herman just stands there, looking goofy with grape juice on his chin. Our hero thinks he can't waste time. The Chancellor's words about seals, demons, and saving humanity were strange. And now this mission about Elnor and her cursed inheritance. Her father is also investigating her active inheritance. The main quest involves a boy king who destroyed Elnor country. But he has no idea how to prepare, since Gideon never appeared in the original story. The first time you're supposed to meet him, he's already a corpse, slaughtered, right, in front of Elnor. That event originally triggered her demonic awakening. But this time, her power. Already awakened in the first term, the whole plan is ruined. With Gideon alive, everything is completely different. Considering he's so close to Elnor, our protagonist will inevitably meet him, but his first rule is to avoid it entirely. But if it's unavoidable, he'll drain every bit of intel. Even things the game conveniently left out. Just then, he sees Talon yelling at Herman, telling him to stop pestering the protagonist. Our hero states coolly, "That's my guy. Talon, you touch my butler, and tomorrow your sword is mine." "Yes, sir." Talon immediately kneels in submission. Well, it's clear who he's loyal to. Finally, the scene we've been waiting for. Our guys chat with Elnor. She finds it strange that he wants to join divinity, yet seeks her sword training. He plays it cool, claiming the reason is simple. The Tristan techniques are the most coveted. He just wants to learn the basics. He's cashing in on that affection meter. Well, it's still climbing. Perfect for asking favors. She agrees. A formal request from a junior can't be denied. She'll help. Of course, he just wants to copy her moves. But another voice cuts in, calling it a rare sight. The busy student president wasting her time here. It's Elia, asking about the private lesson, Elnor says. Yes, Dow's asked her directly. So she is helping? Our protagonist can smell the drama from a mile away. Elia objects, saying Elnor's one-handed style doesn't match his two-handed sword fighting at all. Elnor retorts that the teacher matters more than the style. Elia agrees. Exactly why I should be his instructor. She was a professor's assistant, after all. She even specializes in instruction. Elnor's patience wears thin. She asks if Elia wants to truly test who is worthy. Our hero sighs, not a single lesson in, and his plan is toast. They're already ruining everything. Elia's hand drifts to her sword, a confident smirk on her face. She claims to know many openings in the Tristan style. Meanwhile, Herman is panicking from the sidelines. The young master has started the infamous duel. Elia taunts Elnor about using her powers, given her condition, but Elnor claims she'd never resort to that. Elia lunges, shouting, "Class has begun!" Elnor looks completely bored. "Your movements are too wide." A strike flies at her shoulder, but Elnor parries it with a single, clean motion. The veins on her hand bulge with power. In the next exchange, Elia is utterly dominated, shocked by Elnor's speed. Her attacks are far too fast and powerful. What is happening? She can't possibly lose to a demon like her. She stomps and swings wildly. Elnor evades. Her mindset, she will destroy these demons. She knows this woman will be consumed eventually. She's just another sacrifice waiting to happen. Then, Elia's blade ignites with a fiery aura. Guardian's true hit. Our guy's just thinking, isn't this a bit much? A little too serious. Elnor coolly remarks on Elia's lack of control. She counters with a single, precise slash. The attack was heading right for our protagonist. The flames vanish, Elia freezes, Herman faints, and Elnor is flawless. Our guy notices her reaction time is inhuman. It seems she's already merging with the piece. Elia apologizes from a distance. Elnor admits she's skilled, but there is more than just swordsmanship. She needs to learn not to endanger her friends. A brutal takedown? Herman is still out cold on the ground. Our guy realizes Elnor is evolving too quickly. He can't waste a second. He needs to get stronger, as strong as possible. To survive, he'll take shortcuts. For that, he needs sacred astral energy. Sword skills alone are not enough. He must train both, which is why he's here. She's just calmly eating an apple. "You look healthy," he says. But the girl snaps, attacking him in a split second. He thinks, it's time to save the saint's little sister. Next, we see a massive, corrupted skeleton on the ground as a voice echoes. "If you think someone will save you, or that someone will be your friend, that will only wound you deeper. There's always a devil's sibling." With these girls, it's not daddy issues. It's brother issues. "Isn't it hope is merely the prelude to despair?" The voice says. "Accept it like your sister did." A drop of blood falls on her forehead. A demon begins to possess her body. Now, you are just a cursed amulet, and you will be alone forever, even in death. That is how you will protect them. Suddenly, she opens. Her eyes, a voice whispers, "This is Yura's duty." She finds herself back in that abandoned cabin. We're now back to the moment she reaches for an apple. When our main character arrives, asking how she is, saying, "She looks healthy." That very second, she spins. Her sword flies straight for his head. Okay, she is definitely not playing. He leaps back, barely defending himself. She moves like a storm, unleashing a furious barrage of slashes. Her mind is screaming at him to run before she hurts him. Another attack flies in. He blocks, but the impact, falling back as the blade slams into the ground before him. The man laughs. "Hey kid, not bad at all. Got some muscle to swing that thing. I said I'd bring food. Didn't you even remember? Figured you'd be lonely, so I paid a visit." She's in a daze, his words fading into a harsh memory. Her brother's voice, sneering that she's a cursed amulet, fated to die alone, but our main character keeps chatting, completely oblivious. "I'm here to see you," and those words trigger it again. Her brother's curse. "You will die alone. Get close to people, and you will only suffer." Then she spots what he brought, a small loaf of bread. The sword clatters down as she breaks into tears. She's just happy he brought food and came back unharmed. This guy is seriously built different. With his return, Yura's interest skyrockets. Now a reward is in play. Meanwhile, Hernan, the useless one, is just sleeping. He's just acquired fencing focus rank B, boosting his reaction time and accuracy. He's already theory crafting a combo with Desperate Survivor, but he's also got questions. Why is his brother so careless? Always asleep on top of that, he's leveling the Tristan fencing technique. He can now wield any weapon, perform blocks, and has a small chance to ignore defenses. He tells his brother to get up. "Today, I'm going to show off in front of that person." That's right. Our main character is meeting his future father-in-law, Gideon de Tristan. The city is packed. A knight offers to carry the old man's things. In the crowd, people whisper about the Holy Empire's arrival. It seems it's family visiting day for the Academy students. And from the stage, an announcer begins. "Welcome to the Empire's greatest academy. It is my honor to offer you all the chance to witness a battle royale." Nearby, nobles are stunned. What is he doing here? Someone who never shows up unless there's a war. Gideon himself. Why would he come to this? Some whisper it's because of Elnor. His daughter is here. But others know that's not enough. He sits alone, an imposing figure. No one dares approach his aura, except Conrad, who casually walks up. "Hey, Gideon, what brings you here?" Gideon just replies, "Aren't you tired of teaching children?" Conrad ignores him and asks, "And you? What brings a man like you here? Did you finally reach the level of the first Archduke, Tristan?" Gideon sighs, saying he's just taking a break. He's reached a part of his training where he has to conquer mountains, Conrad asks. "What do you mean, conquer?" Gideon smirks. "I cut one in half. That's how the Tristan family solves problems." Just imagine him finding out about Dowd and his daughter. To be fair, who wouldn't want an Elnor giving them affection 24/7? The announcer shouts again. "The battle royale for new students is starting," Conrad says to watch closely. "This year is good. Everyone gets a wooden weapon so nobody dies." And there they are. The students file into the arena. Our main guy stands in the middle, thinking this was a terrible idea. "Bro, you love drawing attention. What's your end game here?" Poor Talon still thinks he actually has a shot at beating Dowd. There's the Saintess, and Elia, who's also confused about why Dowd is participating. And here we go. While nobles grab massive swords, a girl runs her fingers along a much smaller, deadlier blade. Dangerous. The rules are simple. The last one standing gets special points, and the top 10 get perks. Hernan is telling our boy to at least secure the top 10. But Dowd is busy searching for Gideon. He needs Gideon to watch him. It's funny, he's lazy when a girl's involved, but for his father-in-law, now that Gideon might be watching, he's all fired up. Ilya thinks they have nothing to worry about, but she knows that one in the red hood is a serious problem. Above, Elnor Tristan watches intently. Her father glances over as well. The announcer screams, "Begin!" And the arena erupts into total chaos. People are flying, fireballs are exploding, and swords are clashing. The hooded girl is just throwing punches. Hey, I recognize that. Editor, zoom in, that tribal tattoo on her thigh. We know who that is. Another powerhouse has joined the fray. Talon charges in, swinging at Dowd, who asks why he's picking a fight. He defends easily with the Tristan-style block. Did Gideon notice the kids there? But he's not drawing much attention. Then, suddenly Gideon's eyes lock onto him. A dangerous situation triggers. Model. A muscular girl appears with a thunderous kick. No, she lands it perfectly, shattering the wooden sword. She's grinning, her eyes asking what he's doing. A clear challenge? Our boy smashes right into Valion, utterly wrecked. What is this camera angle? He knows her the daughter of the Tribal War Association, a character who shouldn't have appeared until Chapter 5? The entire crowd is stunned. Elnor just watches. Elia is totally confused. The girl throws her cloak back, saying if he won't come, she'll go to him. Based on tropes, she is definitely the brute type who charges in recklessly. And our hero knows that in the original story. She's a total sadist who loves fighting. The problem is, since she's here before Chapter 5, he thinks not even EX level survival can guarantee his win. Is she somehow even stronger than Elnor? Seriously, he's still dazed from that kick, wondering why this psycho joined a friendly event. Then Talon declares he'll make sure Dope wins first place. But our hero tells him he should just run, before he gets destroyed. Talon steps forward protectively, shouting, "If you want Dope, you have to get through." Me, poor fool. He challenged the one girl who loves a good beatdown. Instantly, a hand is right in front of Talon's chest. Our guy tries to use a speed skill, but she just tells him not to die. Then, the classic 1-inch punch, boom. She sends him flying with the entire arena floor, a demon's glint in her eye. He realizes he wasn't hit directly, but the shockwave alone was hell. She scratches her head. "Damn, I thought you were trash, but you're standing. Guess I can finally go." All out on you. He wonders what chance he has against her and Elnor. Gideon states, "Impossible." She rushes in with another kick as he blocks with his sword. She looks pleased, but he knows that's only in his imagination. She then unleashes a JoJo-style punch rush. He struggles to block, unable to waste a single bit of stamina. Then boom, the sword falls, and he shouts that he quits. Honestly, this has to be his master plan. Deny the sadist her fun, and she'll become completely obsessed. This kid is playing 4D chess. She's baffled. The crowd is confused, Ilya thinks. Well, I suppose that was clever. As our hero walks off, he's like, "Why the trash talk? I had no chance. I'm just getting out." Before I get erased, the announcer calls it a terribly anticlimactic finish. And now Lulu is screaming, "That bastard, I hadn't even started yet." And of course, the charm effect triggers, hinting at an explosive future relationship. The main character laughs, certain it was the best move. Then suddenly, a sack is thrown over his head. With that red collar, it's obvious who did it. He rips the sack off and opens his eyes to a room with Gideon, who asks if he learned fencing from her. He doesn't say her name, making it super obvious. Our protagonist thinks this outcome isn't so bad for his plan. He says no. Then Gideon asks where he learned the Tristan fencing style. Like, did the kid seriously think Gideon wouldn't recognize that? Signature defense. "So, answer me, where did you learn it?" Our hero thinks Gideon is blind. He's nervous, standing. Before him is the living incarnation of the blade. One moment of weakness means it's over. So he says he learned it from someone Gideon also knows. The Blade Emperor often appeared at the strangest times, even in some random backwater town. Gideon scoffs. "My master taught you, that's a bold lie. Do continue." The main character thinks the best way to hide a tree is in a forest. So he says yes, taught personally by Gideon's master, who had asked a small favor of him. A little lie is the best cover for a bigger one. Gideon tells him to state what the favor is. He replies that his mission is to teach Gideon the true way of the sword. Gideon turns and asks if his master truly requested such a thing. Our guy replies, Yeah, trust me." Gideon states he will have to take full responsibility for those words. And our boy acts confident, not quite sure what taking responsibility is going to involve. All he wants is to use his knowledge from the original story. The problem is, Gideon is a man spoken of only in rumors, and our hero cannot possibly estimate his true strength, and now he knows he's being tested, which makes sense since he must look completely insane to Gideon. Still, he hates this oppressive silence. Gideon suddenly extends a single finger, asking if he doesn't intend to block. Our hero is confused, and Gideon says that by now, he would already be dead. And then the cup Gideon was holding, plus the entire table, simply vanishes. Our hero recognizes the technique, the formless blade, a skill, a technique that cuts things without a visible sword. And the problem is, that's the final skill of the knight's talent tree, and Gideon used it like breathing. Something else clatters to the floor, and Gideon sighs that he died again. If he can't even react, what is Gideon meant to learn from him, our main guy? Knows a knight with that swordsmanship could slay a dragon, but he also knows Gideon is incomplete. So, he says, "You're incredible, just as rumored, Lord Gideon. But if that skill were complete, you wouldn't even have to move." At this rate, the story can't have many chapters, because by chapter S, 120. It's going to be Dragon Ball Z fighting aliens. We're already fighting without moving a finger? Gideon asks if he even grasps what he's saying. Our main character thinks, of course, he does. In the original story, they get Gideon's notes after his death. It explains step by step how he grew stronger, what his master taught, his family history, all of it. So, our protagonist says the goal Gideon wants so badly is something he also envisions. And we see Gideon's teacher saying that to break the family curse, he must learn to cut the very seas. Then our hero tells Gideon that rotational movement is the secret. The second target's image is clear. He must draw a perfect line. And the only way to apply that in reality is by adding rotational force. I'm confused. Gideon's confused. Our MC isn't even sure if he's making any sense. He's just reciting from Gideon's journal. And Gideon's death happens much later. So the journal has things this Gideon doesn't know yet. Gideon imagines a storm of lines crisscrossing, and he looks shaken. Then suddenly, the entire area seems to get sliced apart, light flashing everywhere. Okay, hold on. What he visualized everything being destroyed, and now wants to know who our main character really is. He's practically trying to seduce him. I'm just a kid who wants to make you stronger. Lord Gideon, that's not how you hit on women. Right, kid. The protagonist's plan is simple. Gideon can't die, and Elnor can't fall to darkness. And now he's finally got his prize, the seal of immunity. No matter what trouble he starts, he can flash this thing and walk away clean. It also gives him one chance to have Gideon appear and defend him. And that man is the Empire's current executioner. If nobody in the nation can handle a target, he's the one they call to take them out from the shadows. On top of that, the number of people charmed by him rose, which improved the gifts he received. Now, even his talent for being loved by villainous is leveled up, too. So, he's getting even more rewards. And thanks to his time with Gideon, he gained the guidance ability. So, if a villain unlocks a new ability, he also gets that same power. He can use the added abilities temporarily. Okay, it's not permanent, but he's sure it's perfect for his plans. He writes something down, closing the book, knowing this won't be easy. Still, he's going to protect the Tristan family. Honestly, this man's devotion to Gideon far outweighs any he shows to women. Next chapter. We're in a class studying sacred. Energy, something everyone has. The students look completely uninterested, and the teacher is enraged. There are tons of empty seats. Nobody cares about his class. He's sure it's that damn Riverback's fault. Releasing zombies was bad enough, but turning into a demon went way too far. And this year's new students are a total mess. At least no one knows he and Riverback were partners. So he'll just stand there teaching, pretending he knows absolutely nothing. Then someone asks how you train sacred energy, Professor? But he's already mad because out of all the new kids, Dot is the one he hates most. Suddenly, he says class is too late anyway, and that's it. Class dismissed. Now, he's in his office thinking, that damn brat, why does he keep grating on my nerves? I should have finished those papers and escaped this empire. Now, that would have been a solid plan. But then there's a knock. Professor, we need help. I have a question about today's lesson. He goes, overthinking? Oh my god, kids are just so annoying. But then the door explodes and he's sent to the floor. He turns around like, who's insane enough to kick a teacher's door in? That was a vicious kick. And yep, it's her, ready to stomp him with high heels. Next scene, he's tied up with a throbbing headache and sees Dot there, asking if he's lost his mind. Do you think you can hit a teacher and just walk away? But Dot just tells him to chill, because right now he's the one who's trapped. And Elnor is there too, gorgeous as ever. The teacher says Dot is ridiculous. What kind of moronic stunt is he trying to pull? Who gave him the authority to arrest anybody? Then Elnor speaks. We already know he's a spy. Everyone's been briefed on his role in the last demon attack. It's sick that a teacher wanted his own students dead. And there's no point in denying it. They found a letter in his house addressed to Marcus Riverback. He claims it's all a fabrication, that a clergyman like him would never get involved. The protagonist tells him to cut the act and talk because they're on a tight schedule. He wants the names of every spy on campus. The teacher says nothing until Eleanor's fist connects. Blood sprays. And then he starts singing, It's Guard Barrymore, the nutritionist. And a few more. The hero heals him slightly, quipping, Can't understand you with a mouth full of blood. The teacher is stunned. How does this boy wield sacred power? After he lists a few names, Dao turns to leave. The teacher asks where he's going. Dao scoffs. Did he think snitching would get him a free pass? Elnor says she'll take the documents. From his desk, that's when the teacher's aura flares. vowing to stop them. The protagonist realizes the man knows military tactics. In an instant, the teacher is before him, reaching for the papers. Then Elnor strikes. His neck snaps back. He hits the wall hard. The poor chancellor gets a surprise. Crimson shower. But Dao is celebrating. He got the complete list of imperial spies, he thinks. His friend as Elnor glares at the furious teacher, who admits he always hated Dao from day one. Dao reminded him of someone he saw when he first met Riverback. He kneels, saying it's an honor to meet the prophet, but she warns him. Ask a question, you die. Tell anyone you saw her, you die. Wait, that's the prophet. She looks a lot like me, if I were just a little braver. Or is that just me? And this guy thinks she resembles the protagonist. Is he blind, or am I missing the picture? The scene changes. Our main character is relieved it's over. But Eleanor says, messing with someone's mind isn't her style. At least her madness seems to be improving. Then she immediately asks if he has something to say. He's confused, staring at the crystal. No, not really. She leans in close. Seriously, she heard he met her father. Why did you meet him? The protagonist freezes. He admits it, but no one was supposed to know. It was never made public. The issue is, he didn't have a single excuse prepared. Elnor hopes her father didn't cause him any trouble. He quickly denies it. No. He says Gideon just saw him use Tristan abilities and had questions. She finds that odd. Why would Gideon be interested in him, he suggests? Maybe it was the competition. Who knows? She walks away, saying whatever. She doubts her father cares about an amateur. Like him. And it has nothing to do with her. But our hero knows it does. He feels they're destined to meet more often. Then he blurts out that he's part of her family and he has to stay close to Gideon to protect her. The moment it's out, he regrets it. I shouldn't have said that I'm not strong enough to protect her. Elnor calls to him, saying she's noticed he acts more comfortable around her now. She adjusts her hat, telling him if he wants to protect her. He should watch his mouth first. The scene shifts. Dao is with his brother, who's totally confused. Dao is getting noticed, talking to the Tristan Patriarch, hanging out with Elnor. But Dao says just relax. They're only school friends. Nothing big right now. Dao is just trying to survive until chapter 2. His glove now has a soul link. Once enough sacred energy is stored, he can perform the ritual. He tells his brother to go sample all the ice cream flavors and report back with the best one. The kid dashes off. Alone at last, he can awaken the ghost from the Gregory Pavilion. This is the item from the Chancellor. Remember, he asked for an artifact with a spirit inside. This is it. Now that he's leveled up, he can contact the Mishun Tide, past. But if he summons a spirit with a completely different fighting style, it's useless. He begs for a good roll. A brilliant light flashes. A gotcha card materializes. A banner rises up. Someone drops to the ground. Our hero is certain it's a knight. And with that fiery orange hair, we know who it is. The Guardian of Dawn, Calivan, Aaliyah's brother. We see Aaliyah's flashback once more. We know this story. She went back to find her brother. He never returned. Her family was wiped out. He was a guardian who gave his life to save the city. He died a hero's death. But for Aaliyah, it felt like utter abandonment. Still, on that day, she swore an oath to follow his path and destroy the demons. And so her grueling training began, bringing her to the academy as a hero candidate. Now, the mid-year exams are fast approaching, and all students were required to form teams of 4 one boy and 3 girls, a perfectly balanced setup. The teacher quickly stepped in to warn them before chaos could begin. They'll be facing demon worshippers. Dowd consults Calivan in the glove, noting his little sister is right there. Calivan scoffs. She was a snot-nosed kid who wrecked the house. Dowd points out that she's grown up now. Calivan admits. Seeing her now, it was all worth it. He never dreamed he'd witness this as a spirit. A spirit? Yeah, it's super weird. He's still conscious. How is he even here? Dowd says that he's the one granting him this chance to see it. So, could he help? Calivan agrees. If Dowd needs assistance? But there are rules. Dowd can't tell his sister. He's only doing this because of a dead man's intuition. He senses Dowd is a good person. Dowd awkwardly states his only goal is to prevent any deaths. Then, he approaches Ilya about the test. Does she need a team? Would she partner with him? She turns beet red. She looks like she's about to refuse. Plot twist incoming, she asks, totally confused, if he's serious. He confirms they should be on the same team. True to form, she makes it a drama, since he's asking, she recalls. But you said we weren't close. He apologizes, admitting he needs her strength to help. Ilya's brain short-circuits. She tries claiming she has a team, but her friend says Dowd can have her, especially since Ilya wanted to take Dowd down herself. Inya gets furious, and the guy tries to speak, but her nun friend slams his head into the floor. Then Ilya thanks Dowd, saying it'll be the perfect chance. A perfect chance to get to know each other. She suggests they just form a duo, but he says no, they need a full team. One more person. So, who's it going to be? Scene change to the Chancellor. Someone thanks her for her acceptance. Chancellor. What is this? I never knew you hid such strength. It's the crystal ball guy. She feigns ignorance about what his sacred master is planning. He claims he can't let Lucien just sit around rotting. For context, Lucien is the smoking hot nun. Everyone needs to experience the world, even a saint. And here's another one to prove it. The Chancellor knows that while this girl is a saint, their investigation shows she's also a possible vessel for a demon. Oh, fantastic. They offered 5, now 7. Keep sending them. But the Chancellor also knows the girl's true motive is her sister. The crystal ball guy boasts they've worked hard too. It wasn't easy getting her into this school. The Chancellor asks if this was a last-minute decision, due to the demon incident. He says yes, it's a crisis, and officials are starting to doubt this place. So he sends a saint. She must be a spy. The Chancellor realizes she's sending her into a trap. The girl is also a demon vessel, so she's walking right into it. He keeps trying to sell the idea. It's great for a saint to be where darkness lurks. Her mission at the academy. Eliminate all evil. Every last bit of it. He expects her to join the mid-year exams on arrival. And there she is, passed out on the floor like a goofball. He says they'll sort out the details later. All he wants is for the Chancellor to know this saint is here to destroy evil. But she asks if this is the Emperor's way of humiliating the school, calling them incapable, and he should remember Lucien isn't a saint yet. He just laughs and fades away, convinced she'll be a huge help. The Chancellor rubs her temples. That bastard is a slippery snake. She never thought a saint would just show up here so easily. It's good she has another demon vessel. The bad part. The girl is a pawn for the Empire. And then she remembers ordering Dowd to seduce them. Talk about Miss Adelante's hypocrisy. She'll have to use the boy. It's for her own personal goals. It's how she always gets what she wants. Scene change. A girl is sprawled out. She's washing clothes, wondering why it's taking so long. Her mind is on the boy who visits at the same time. Time? Our main character says his defense looks better. He tells her to wait. Tomorrow, he'll bring donuts. Or maybe some meat. But the little troublemaker doesn't want food. She wants to be a friend. She keeps scrubbing the clothes, saying just being with him is enough. But then a voice speaks to Yuria. Bored. The truth is agonizingly clear. A traitor, cast out by her own blood. She must finally grasp that. There's no escape from this. Her destiny is to be broken. It's the only role she can play. That's the curse passed down her lineage. This cruel reality is fixed. She is doomed to be alone forever. Shaking, breaking, out in a cold sweat, as the voice whispers, demanding her final surrender. But then, a new sound cuts through the despair. It's the boy, asking about her tears. Did something happen? He even brought her favorite cookies, and just like that, her spirits lift. Wait, is this turning into a romance, huh? Because until this point, his history with women has been nothing but a joke. The real candidate was that other girl, not the arena fighter, the one who fought him and vanished, the tribal girl. Anyway, a major showdown is coming, no matter what. Just then, Yuria's interest level skyrockets from 1 to 4. She asks if he despises her. Is he sick of her, baffled? He says he's just there for a favor. He wants her to escape this place. Through her tears, she immediately agrees. But her sword lunges toward him on its own. And oh no, he crushed all the cookies. Our hero is just trying to process. What is even happening? She apologizes, sure that he hates her now. At the same time, she yearns to be closer. He admits he's not doing great either, and says they must move quickly. Then, the scene shifts to the start of the mid-year exams at Fanchi Academy. Aaliyah wants to know what happened to Dowd. She's got a million questions, but our masked boy says they'll talk later. No, she insists. We need answers now. Why is he leading? A girl around in chains and a collar. He swears it's not weird and he can explain. Yuria says it was her idea, claiming it actually makes things more comfortable. Aaliyah is now convinced Dowd found the biggest weirdo in the whole academy. Truly, this is a level of perversion never seen before. Then Caliban's little spirit appears and tells our protagonist he'd better fix this, because his sister is getting the wrong idea, but the main character explains absolutely nothing. She's staying with me. Do not approach her. She is part of my strategic plan. Aaliyah snaps that he better not plan on putting a collar like that on her neck. But the boy says, it's fine, and calls for Yuria. Now we're in the forest, watching a lone rabbit. It looks like the remains of Caliban's group, and they're all exhausted. One guy in a tree says that tribal girl was way too much for them to handle. The blonde agrees. If it weren't for their barriers, they'd all be dead. Then his friend says they should hunt losers like Dodd for easy points. The blonde, however, isn't interested. His friend is shocked. What, didn't you hate Dodd? He did, but things have changed. Let's just say he's gained a broader perspective on things now. Cut to the tribal girl again. She is incredible. Look at her wrecking this guy, calling them all weak while flashing her thigh tattoo. She wonders why everyone is so pathetic. Then she stomps on. The man on the ground. Filthy trash like you deserves to die. Just then, a flash of light Elnor appears and blocks the blow. The two warriors lock eyes, and the crazy one looks absolutely thrilled. Light and dark energy erupt, tearing up the ground. Elnor says Lilu Garuda is drawing too much attention for an outcast. Lilu just stares, thinking she's finally found someone worthy. Elnor points her sword, warning that as a delegation officer, she can't just watch her kill students. Lilu brazenly presses her forehead against the blade and asks, "And what will you do about it?" Elnor tells her to calm down. On a real battlefield, your head would already be rolling. This is the last warning. Lilu smirks. Fine. Then it's a battlefield. Right now. Kill me. The blade is still on her forehead. Elnor pushes harder while Lilu tells her to just do it, already saying her tribe is full of people like Elnor. All skill, but no conviction. Even if the love of her life were being stolen, she would just stand there and cry. As Lilu finds her target, she glares at Elnor with pure contempt. It's like a demon is about to awaken. She sees a shadow, then looks pleasantly surprised, saying her tribe isn't everything in this world after all. She's finally meeting strong people, and it's amazing. She leaps to attack Elnor, who is watching her closely, but then a forced teleport activates, and Lilu vanishes. Darn, I thought the artist was finally giving us a good fight. Lilu reappears in a tree and falls out like an amateur. She looks around and sees anyone who failed or broke the rules has been booted from the competition. But when Elnor looked at her, she felt it wasn't just a simple power gap. It was like they were born in different worlds. Still, she wonders why. All of a sudden, Elnor looked like she genuinely wanted to kill her. What could she have said to provoke that much anger? The guys she beat up, terrified of another beating. Lulu recalls her last words Elnor failed to protect his love. So, who is it? He's not telling. Then, a system window appears. Lulu Garuda is showing interest in you. Meanwhile, he drags Yura through the arena, and she's wrecking everyone. Ilya is confused as Yuria smashes the poor kids. Ilya wants Dowd to explain this. Misunderstanding now. What's going on? He claims he's too busy controlling Yura. He pulls her closer, and she whispers she loves being next to him. Ilya can only think they're both completely weird. Then, a guy drops onto a golem, calling out to Ilya. With tongue out, he admires her martial skill and radiant beauty. This total gigachad came to fight her, beat her, and win her heart. The main character wonders if she really has so many fans. The guy throws hearts, vowing he won't let her get snatched by that pervert, Dowd. Ilya is about to argue, then realizes, yeah, he kind of is. So, she lets it slide. She says she'll face the guy head on, but he's not here to fight her. The main character notices his cleric magic, so their department is nearby. He tries to contact Kalian, asking for a small favor. Kalian immediately refuses, saying it sounds dangerous. Yura looks back to see a mob of students charging toward the main character. Our hero and the desperate survivor skill activate rank A. He orders Kalian to appear, but Kalian won't join this childish nonsense, for the love of God. The main character mentions his sister is fighting a golem, and Kalian should help. Instantly, Kalian appears, like a tiny ghost, granting the Mind Kingdom buff. Yelia looks incredible, says she hates fans and slices. The guy's golem in too. Everyone is stunned. The main character declares the biggest problem is solved. With the Mind Kingdom buff, he shares the Desperate Survivors bonus with his whole party. It's totally broken. If one person has EX rank, everyone gets EX rank. He notes just one issue. It consumes holy energy. He doesn't have much, so the buff ends quickly. And unfortunately, another wave is already on its way. But the chains are about to sing, and they get shredded. Elia tells him to get ready for the next incoming wave. Then she unleashes a guarding explosion, and a cyclone erupts, tossing everyone sky high. The main character is impressed. It's almost impossible to think he'd beat this girl with only rank F stats. Even Kalian is confused, asking when his sister became this powerful. Her magic. Those lunatins trapped the enemies in a tornado and whisked them away. So their party finally claims victory. His proficiency increases. He used Yuria without even healing her. So what happens now? Ilya calls him a weirdo, but admits that being on Dowd's team is always fun. And yes, people forget, but that red-haired guy was part of the main player's party in the original story. Elia's old group are the true heavy hitters, the main cast. They're hunting items, aiming for the top of the test. But she's confused why second place isn't a team, but a single person. The blonde insists it's impossible. How could one person lead solo, and look who just appeared? Another top-tier girl. Penal Reggie. Such an ugly name for a pretty face. The redhead asks how many points. First place has, she replies, 120. He's shocked. What group is that? Cut to our boy and his collared girl arriving. Before a strange cave. In theory, if they secure this area, no one can surpass them. They step inside and the main character knows this place is always a random event. Elia says, even for a test, isn't this going too far? Yuria panics, asking what his sister is doing here. Main quest number 2, the Boy King, stop the bearer of the curse of annulment and protect the target's Lucian, the chain-smoking saint, and Yura. Elia approaches, asking if that girl is feeding this place holy energy. Yuria is terrified, and Elia says by following the path of the Alpanthus, she will save her. Then a voice says they can't allow that. A man in armor appears and claims the saint is doing volunteer work. High combat priest, Klein Garrison. Elia, confused, asks what he means by volunteer work. He says the saint is here of her own free will, so they can't interrupt. He tells the saint to speak the truth. She agrees, saying she wants to be here. Elia asks why she'd do something so disgusting. Klein tells Elia to stand down. He says opposing the saint's will is the same as opposing the Holy Empire. Elia retorts she's not opposing anything. She's saving someone who is suffering. Klein warns that at this rate, she'll be stopped by force. Dowd seems to recognize the Saint Lucian, one of 3 who uphold the Holy Empire's power. Strangely, along with the Emperor, she has an absurd interest in demons. Saint Lucian is merely puppets for the Emperor's twisted research. And right now, the 2 sisters are just pawns, being used to complete his objective. This whole setup was designed to push Yura to her absolute limit. It looks like this is all part of their so-called test, but our hero isn't buying it, saying they already got first place and the saint deserves a break. Klein insists she stays until second and third place arrive, and that he has to wait too. Our protagonist is still wondering why Klein and Lucian appeared so much earlier than in the game. It must be linked to Elnor's rapid evolution. But if Yura goes berserk right now, everything goes to hell. The Holy Empire will watch the Academy like a hawk, if they haven't already figured out the truth. Suddenly, our hero's glove smacks Klein right in the chest. Klein looks completely bewildered. Our protagonist lays down the trash talk, challenging the fool to a duel. He tells Aaliyah to move, but she's shocked. Are you crazy? Do you actually think you can win this? Klein asks why he should even bother accepting, ignoring him. Our hero tells Aaliyah to get the saint to the infirmary while he deals with this guy. Klein asks if he understands the conflict he's about to cause. He demands the boy's title. Exactly. Our hero says he's a baron's son from a small farm town. Klein scoffs that a knight of his status can't fight a commoner. So Dwood fires back. Then why'd you draw your sword scared? The guy draws his blade. Fine, I'll deal with this undisciplined brat myself. In the blink of an eye, he's right in front of Dwood. But Dwood's quick draw unleashes a perfect counterslash right at him. Klein is sent flying back. The girls are stunned as the knight demands to know who Dwood really is. Dwood says they'll settle this in an official duel, then he'll find out everything. Klein agrees. It seems our boy has actually secured a formal duel. Atel is panicking, calling him insane, defying. The Emperor's will is like defying the entire empire. How did he even manage a duel in a situation like this? Dao just says she told him to seduce them all. And hey, might as well try to seduce the Chancellor, too, right? Can't let her get away. Atel wants to know why he's doing all this now. He tells her to relax. Lucienne is already somewhere safe. Besides, you can't grab these women's attention with mediocre results. Politics mean nothing when the world needs saving from demons, so the Emperor is irrelevant. Atel warns him not to forget he already has something going. With Elnor and Eris, and things could get ugly, he just tells her not to worry. Those 2 are calm for now. Our hero remembers his dad told him to stay out of trouble, but he's already involved with an angel, with Gideon, and is now picking a fight with the Empire. Atael says the Emperor himself will probably come to watch. She doesn't get his plan, but warns him how dangerous that man is. Seriously, what won't this kid do? For 2 sisters... Wait, that sounds bad. What won't he do for 2 adult sisters? There we go, speaking of them. We see the resident chain smoker, lighting one cigarette after another, only to put them out. Yuria walks up, looking surprised, as Lucian calls her name. Before Yuria can speak, her sister stands and orders her to stay put. Just as the curse was about to activate, she charges forward with her blade drawn. Lushan grabs the chain, reminding her that they're twins. And seriously, who is dyeing their hair right now? Tell me. The scene changes to the day of the duel, an informal match, so killing is forbidden. The first one to take major damage loses, or the duel ends if someone gives up. The protagonist knows he needs Lucian on his side to help delay Yuria's awakening, and to keep this blonde girl with him. Winning this duel is a must, especially since Lucian is a spy for the Holy Empire. He must stop her from gathering intel. He expected the Emperor to appear, but only got a cheap 3 projection. Atael thinks even the Emperor can't risk losing this. Suddenly, Klein draws his sword, saying it's too late for apologies. But if he begs, maybe fewer bones will get broken. Herman is already telling our hero to just give up, but our boy just says he was about to tell Klein the exact same thing. Then we learn the Emperor ordered him not to attack with killing intent. The more pressure he applies, the stronger our hero gets. It's his unique ability. Damn, the Emperor knows everything about his system. Klein complains it's basically cheating, and the Emperor agrees. He saw it in the past. He never expected another person to appear. So that's how his attack was reflected. Klein now has to suppress all hostility and killing intent. Yeah, this is getting complicated. His opponent activates stored prisons. A flurry of buffs erupts at his feet. He's about to teach an insolent noble a lesson. In a heartbeat. He's before our main character, who activates the guide skill from Caliban. Then he releases Elnor's power, the skill from their last fight, and uses it instantly. A flash of black and red energy explodes. The world turns. Black and white. The mark of the fallen ignites. Klein has no idea what's happening. The protagonist raises his sword before his opponent can even react. Their blades clash. A shockwave erupts, blasting the arena with wind from every direction. Adelante is in disbelief. Meanwhile, the Emperor wears a smug grin as our hero's eye glows with Elnor's power. Klein is still completely lost. The immense pressure forces the other man's sword to the ground. The system announces demonic energy is gathering in the mark. Ah, the one she put on his chest. Everyone is stunned. The sky itself looks like it's cracking. What is that? A giant Elnor appears? Even our protagonist is confused. He realizes time stopped the moment she arrived. Klein wonders what this evil pressure could be. Elnor asks why he's fighting again. She tells him not to get beat up, or he'll hurt her feelings. Then she touches his sword, telling him to unleash everything, or something to that effect. But Klein and everyone else can't see a thing. He keeps attacking, thinking he felt a strange presence. How did this kid even block his attack? Then our hero drops his sword. He can't kill this guy, he says, but he can punch him. Square in the face. The boy's expression becomes dark and intense. A promise of what's to come. Klein gets launched into the sky. While he's in agony, the Emperor is just laughing at him. Then he remarks that while he wasn't looking, Eufonte's education standards must have risen. An aura surrounds Klein, and the protagonist asks if he won. Someone tells the student yes, so he yells for those bastards to stop messing with the saint. The Emperor looks taken aback. Adelante thinks this kid has finally lost it. Talking like that to someone like him? The Emperor asks Adelante how this boy dares to be so rude, but man with a mustache interrupts. Not only did the Emperor send a knight to fight a child, he's also bothering the saint. It's Hattenju, head of the tribal association, probably connected to that other villain, Lulu. And now he's sizing up our hero with great interest. He says even if the kid criticized the Emperor, it's shameful to try and crush him after their actions. The protagonist just waits to see how this plays out. The Emperor scoffs. Fine, this duel was meaningless anyway. And with a wave, that was that. He agrees the boy isn't just talented, he's also crafty. Then he and Klein disappear. But the scene shifts. The Emperor stands with the cat girl, Saras. He tells her to assign an agent to watch Diob Campbell. His voice, dangerously calm. She understands. A new pawn is on the board. The Emperor thinks the more he sees this kid, the more he resembles someone else. Back in the arena, our hero wonders if they really just vanished, and he's declared the winner. Atlante sighs in relief, while Hayton says this kid will become a great duelist. He throws him a lion necklace that boosts training. The protagonist catches it, confused, and Hatan tells him to visit the War Foundry anytime for his support. What? He's desperate to learn about that strange power? Our protagonist doesn't get it. He just got an item that should only appear in Chapter 3 of the story. Still, he caught the eye of the most powerful and unhinged man in the tribal association. Cut to Adelante. Her mask of composure slips. She asks how he used the vessel's power this time. He calls it luck, but she knows better. The Emperor noticed. And more people will be coming for him. He'd better be ready. He just says it's fine. This was his plan all along. Night falls. Day breaks. A main quest is complete. Echo of Sanctification. Reward Seed of Evil. +1. The protagonist notes. He now has 4 seeds. Certain abilities only unlock with rare materials like these. For an item called the Eye of Inspection. It checks someone's stats once per day. Since it's always accurate, he'll know exactly who to challenge. He goes to test it, but sees Trisha and thinks, nope. He doesn't even want to know her stats. Whatever. Percy doesn't interest him either. But then he spots someone moving with incredible speed. Now that's the perfect test subject. While the other students are wiped out, he knows his priority remains Ellie and Elnor. He scans her, and boom, Elnor Tristan, the Grey Demon's vessel. Strength, agility, endurance, all S rank. Only her luck is C rank. But let's be real. We're lucky just to witness this moment. Her fusion rate is 80%, with corruption at just 2%. As he's staring, she vanishes and asks what he's doing. The poor guy nearly jumps out of his skin. She reports the person he was watching is far from normal. There's a very strange pattern to his behavior. He pops back up, thrilled, saying that must have been tough. She says it was only manageable, because of her presidential authority. Then she produces some files, holding the location records from the incident. During the mid-year exam, our main character, totally hyped, rushes in and hugs her, thanking the president for the amazing work. Seriously, dude, contain yourself. She's a bit flustered, but things are moving quickly. He learns the target, stays at the clock tower until 7. He recalls this guy arrived at the academy with the Saintus. Then he finds Jeffrey, who is really Valkus, the so-called Boy King. Of course, that's just his mission name. He turns and asks if he's dude. Campbell, our hero, is stunned the kid already knows his name. Then again, this boy is the Prophet's chosen one. Valkus admits the person Dudu sent to tail him was incredibly skilled. Escape was impossible, so he simply decided to wait here. Despite being foes, our hero finds it strange that this guy is so talkative. In the original story, this kid's just a mindless demon worshiper. You can't even hold a conversation with him. Valkus says the Prophet warned him that Dudu would be the greatest obstacle here. Now he demands to know if Dudu plans to interfere. As he gathers energy, our hero realizes Valkus is dead serious about ending him. Apparently he already has. Direct orders from the Prophet to kill him. You know, the girl in the skin-tight suit? Our protagonist starts sweating, bullets staring him down. Valkus demands to know how much he knows. This confrontation means he already suspects him. But Dudu declares, I know you don't have evil intentions, even if your plan is to take over the academy by killing everyone. Hold on. What? So they can't coexist? Valkus simply says, yes. The Prophet seems very interested in this. And there she is, on a huge screen. But their main goal is figuring out who Dao truly is, though he must know he'll eventually have to face everyone who received a divine awakening. I'm as confused as the protagonist. Why is the villain spilling all the beans? They're enemies, so Valkus shouldn't be giving away intel like this. Just take the help, man. The blonde kid says he has no intention of ruining Dao's plans. All he desires is a fair fight. Our hero is baffled by this. Valkus says a game must always be fair. To him, Dao is at a massive disadvantage, no matter how much info he has. And the reason he sought this meeting was to see if Dao would play dirty. Dao thinks, this bastard already figured it all out. So he activates the Eye of Infection to take a look. The blonde kid just smirks, letting him see whatever he wants. And the stats are horrifying, completely corrupted with negative 213,000 in applied alchemy. Alchemy is a magic class that, unlike other arts, consumes your very life force to use. Valkus just laughs, saying that his little eye won't be useful in a real fight. Our hero asks why Valkus is even talking to him. Valkus says he wants to understand if the Prophet's words about Dao were true. He says no offense, but right now, Dao poses absolutely no threat to his grand plan. So, Dao raises the stakes, declaring that Valkus's genocidal plan will fail, that he'll do whatever it takes to stop him. Valkus calls him delusional, especially after seeing all the alchemic spells coursing through his body. But our protagonist declares he will save both Valkus and his kingdom. The blonde kid just scoffs and turns away, saying Dao will just be another casualty. Then, with a burst of power, he transforms into something terrifying and vanishes. Dao talked a big game, but he's not feeling confident. It's going to be incredibly hard to defeat a monster like that. Scene change. Lucienne is chatting with her sister, asking if she likes the new clothes. She says yes, but feels a bit shy. Girl, you're in pajamas. Lucienne tells her to take anything she wants, considering everything Yuria has done for her. It's only fair. Yuria thanks her while our chainsmoker shortens her lifespan, relieved because she had assumed Yuria would be a wreck from the curse, but she seems fine. Then she spots a collar around Yuria's neck and asks what it is. Yuria explains it was a small gift from him, symbolizing their unique relationship. He told her to wear it, because otherwise he refuses to see her. Lucienne is obviously confused, while Yuria tells her she only wears it because she likes seeing doo-doo. The blonde, of course, nearly bites her cigarette in half and demands to know where he is. That damn demon. He quickly explains. It's a huge misunderstanding, all because of her curse. He insists the collar was just the closest object. Oh boy, here comes Lucienne's reply. And she's lighting another cigarette. This girl must be on her 8th pack. She reminds him Yuri is her only sister. He tries to calm her down, but she's not having it. How does he even know they're related? The dog collar thing was already infuriating. And now, he's looking more suspicious by the second. How could a random baron from a backwater city know their secret, and even stand up to a holy knight? Our main character just dodges. Look, Miss Saint, I discussed this with Chancellor Adelante, so my lips are sealed. Just know I'm on your side, and Yura's... She sighs, letting it go for now since he did save her sister. But she makes it clear she doesn't trust him one bit. Eventually, he'll have to reveal exactly what he's scheming. He can't just reveal the truth that both are needed for some homunculus project. Lucienne herself is a synthetic saint, made from various materials. Her holy power is basically engineered, and Yuri was created to amplify it. Or, wait, it seems he told her everything. And that's why Yura ruined the whole plan by escaping. Now, they must use this chance to get ready. Only 3 days until the attack on the Shenan's Academy. They've reached a secure area with a divine item, a place only the saints' authority can access, but she's skeptical about how this will help them. The protagonist smirks, saying it. Will then asks how what she's doing is any better than his methods. After all, the poor girl is being dragged along with a bag over her head. Her sister claims it's just a disguise, like they're bringing in a girl for an exorcism. It's a perfect cover, since no students ever visit the sanctuary. The protagonist tells the saint to leave them be, but a grown-up Ellie steps in, refusing. She's here to keep an eye on his every move. Lucienne admits the hero candidate's presence is reassuring. She let her in because she trusts that the creator made the right choice. With the bag removed, Lucienne tells Elia to watch her sister closely. Elia promises she can be trusted, and Lucienne finally leaves. The hero explains the chainsmoker can't be here. Demons can interfere with the world freely, but angels and saints have strict rules to follow. It's why lower-ranked angels are so limited. Lucienne departs, vowing to wait for Yura outside. He thinks to himself he got lucky that she trusts Elia so much. Elia herself can't believe they're trusting her this easily. She reassures Yura, promising to protect her. But Yuria screams when she sees the main character holding the sacred item. Elia is totally confused by this reaction. Outside, Lucienne sparks another cigarette. She still doesn't get why everyone trusts this guy, but she'll go along with the plan for now. He won't do anything reckless, right? And just then, a colossal angel appears before him. And seriously, what is up with that neckline? Elia is stunned that an angel actually descended. I'm half tempted to find a button for her, just to keep things monetized. The Angel of Virtue, A1. So, virtue is her rank. He realizes she's an even higher level than he thought. The angel gestures, gracefully, as if casting a spell, and says she understands the situation. With that, she puts the two girls to sleep. She descends, telling him she remembers him from her soldiers' reports. He immediately warns her to halt, telling her not to try implanting commands in his mind. The well-dressed angel looks shocked he knows that trick. He recalls from the game that this is how angels operate. They can't attack physically, so they always resort to mental warfare. Her just standing there was already a full-on attack. The angel finds his thoughts amusing, and suddenly he collapses. Her goal was a simple warning, but his blasphemous resistance seems deliberate. Wow, that is a very intense close-up on her mouth. She says he seems prepared for what's coming. Well, duh, it's obviously some kind of labyrinth. What else would it be? He quickly realizes this is his own mental space. The angel asks why. It's completely empty. A mental space should reflect a person's morality. So why is his a total void? She can't read him at all. Not good, not evil. She begins to panic, scratching at herself, unsure of what to do. Meanwhile, our hero is thinking something else entirely. If his mental space has formed, Then his soul is exposed. This was his plan all along, because when this space connects to his soul, someone is to strike, with Yuri unconscious. The world warps into an ominous purple. The angel demands if he sealed his own mindscape, but he can't. This wasn't his doing. A presence slithers up the pillar and the angel looks terrified. She questions the sight, looks again, and declares nothing's there. So strange. And then a small demon girl appears on her back. The angel spins around to see it, but is instantly ensnared by living hair. Not Elnor, it's a demonic Yura. And our boy stands there, his fatal charm, fully activated. His shirt's already gone. Dude, what's the rush? The white demon fragment has taken an interest in him. She stares, whispering, beloved, as his tattoo crackles with energy. The hair begins to coil around him. She's always wanted to meet him. The angel is confused as the system announces. The authority of temptation is clashing with his charm skill. And whoa, look out, the demon moves in, as if to claim him. That tongue is massive. Seriously. She asks if he missed her, and oh yeah, he's totally reacting. He knows that giving in to this temptation means becoming her slave. It's like, excuse me, a slave. But the angel grabs the hair, shouting, that is enough. She begins dragging the demon away, warning our hero to stay put. He's honestly surprised the angel is actually strong enough to move her. Then, Yuri strikes a vicious punch, lands square on her face. The angel retaliates. It seems like an even match. But she's sent flying, crashing hard into the wall. As her vision clears, Yuri is already rushing in for another blow. Boom! And our hero is just unconscious on the side. He struggles up, telling the white demon to stop. If she harms the angel, he'll never forgive her. Since she's here for him, she has to let the other girl go. The angel is getting pummeled, begging the demon to stop. Yeah, that's not working. So the protagonist warns her they'll meet again. But if she doesn't stop this instant, he'll throw himself into the fray. If he dies here, it's permanent. She asks if he's threatening her. He confirms it. She wants him to do it more often. She actually accepts, bidding farewell and promising to claim his soul later. She vanishes, and our main character thinks it's perfect. Now the angel owes him a favor. He turns, asking if that isn't so, and she immediately tells him to just state his price. Scene change. The girl who sacrificed 10 years of her life is amazed. He actually acquired Angel's steel. He'll use it to forge an item that will break Yura's curse. Iza wonders if one piece is enough. He says more exist. This particular steel is essential because it's incredibly durable, enhances one's divinity, and is indestructible, except by another piece of the same. Steel or pandemonium magic? Ezia understands now. They needed the angel to break the curse. But Dao warns the real battle hasn't begun. Much chaos is still ahead. Iza and Lucian demand he just spit it out. How will this attack unfold? They must be prepared this time. It seems he's about to reveal the whole plan, because he promises to explain how they'll save the academy. Everyone is hard at work. Elnor is buried in paperwork. Purgil is at the forge while Volcasus waits patiently. IA's former group notes the last train from outside has finally arrived. Their faction is growing stronger. No one can challenge them. Our hero passes by, amused at their ignorance of what's truly on the horizon. A peaceful student life would be nice, but his real school life was never great either. Then, from nowhere, the prophet appears to speak with him. My latex girl says she's what he can call the butterfly effect. He's confused. She explains his actions led her directly to him. He tries to ask a question, but she's suddenly behind him, whispering how strange it is he seems to have everything under control. She expected some unique skill, but he seems entirely normal. How can someone like him survive so long against the demons? Our hero has no clue who this girl is, or her role in the original story. He demands to know who she is. She claims to be his #1 fan. She's basically freaking out. She throws herself at him, insisting she's far better than any of those demons. He's just baffled. What is happening? Why? Is this girl here? Where did she even come from? Then she produces a paper, out of nowhere, declaring she's found the key, and that he truly is careless. Our hero can't figure out why this feels so dangerous, but the system isn't sending any alerts. And now this girl is sitting nearby, muttering how those other girls are getting too close, and that she wants to kill them all. None of them truly know him. She's the only one who really understands him, the sole person in this world who can meet his gaze. Not villains, not even the demons, can do that. I'm trying to model, to figure this out with you. She knows he's been prepping for Vicasis. He's sure it's tomorrow. and he's got it handled. But what if the invasion is today? She wants to trust him completely, so she demands he show her what he's truly capable of. And oh boy, she definitely did something. The whole barrier is beginning to shatter. Meanwhile, poor Aaliyah is just eating snacks, calling them delicious. Her friends are gushing. You're such an amazing hero candidate. But Aaliyah just says, I'm not that strong. Yes, you are, you trained with Tao. But suddenly, the whole academy begins to tremble. Everyone is trying to figure out why the barrier is cracking. Come on, Lulu, you like a fight, wake up. You too, little witch. Everybody up. Seeing the crack, Ilya knows every monster nearby is going to notice immediately. Her beloved Atalante is already on the way. She quickly casts some magic. Looks like she's reinforcing the barrier, thinking this is happening way too fast. If this is part of Dao's plan, he's got a lot of explaining to do. Yeah, not today. A teleportation magic circle flares to life above the main tower. And just like that, the monsters have arrived. The background characters are totally stunned as creatures flood the streets. Elsewhere, Volka scoffs at the kids' naivete. An enemy never announces when they're going to attack. Enough, Dao, I've waited long enough. One monster grabs a kid's head with its enormous tongue, but hold on. Our dear Professor Conrad tears through them, yelling at the idiots to take this seriously. This isn't some kind of rehearsal. And wow, those were the so-called hero candidates. Aaliyah's friends, we are so screwed. Conrad looks up, knowing the portal creatures aren't the real problem. It's the fact that if that barrier isn't restored, they'll have zero protection. How is the Chancellor meant to fix this? The blonde kid tells everyone to group up, but the beasts give them no time. And the poor soldiers, even more expendable than the students. Charge in. I was about to respect the guy, but nope. He gets eaten in the very next panel. Our main character realizes his grand plan just got completely wrecked. The barrier is gone, and monsters are all over the school. Someone get Elnor. And there she is, sharp sword and huge hat, asking if he missed the evacuation order. The moment he sees her, he knows he must find a solution, no matter what. If not, then at the very least, he has to fight. She strides over, telling him to stop pretending he can't hear. Aelia screams for everyone to regroup with the student council. Elnor tells him to go ahead, but he says he's going to need her help one more time. If she follows him, they can save this school. Explosions rock the campus. At the same time, Ophelia is calling for Elnor. Our protagonist plays the emotion card, telling Elnor to remember everything they've been through. All the incidents since that day of the train. Accident. He might be weird, but he's not lying about having a plan. But Ophelia orders Elnor to bring him. They need to leave right now. Elnor lowers her head, apologizes, and tells Dao this is the last time. The last time she's trusting him? Okay, thank goodness. The two of them immediately run off. Aelia can only think what an idiot Elnor is being. Elnor demands he spit it out. What's the plan? He says he knows someone who's here. He runs to some hooded figures and asks for their help. They claim they can't do anything, but he knows the Emperor sent them after his duel. They're here to observe, and they're exorcists. The hooded figures keep denying it, but he tells them to drop the act. He knows their only purpose is to watch him. The white-haired girl finally admits it's true. So what, at least you're alive? He realizes these bastards don't care if the academy is destroyed. They'll keep him from dying, but he'll lose his contest against Valkasi. They're passing info to a cute girl named Saras, telling her they've found the item she wants. Our protagonist isn't ready to die, so he yells for the damn woman to help him, shouting the name Saras Drior. He screams that he knows she can hear him. The white-haired girl is confused until a charm activates. Saras, the master of assassins, suddenly shows some interest. She tells a subordinate to help the boy. A small abdomen-like creature appears, saying it understands. And in the middle of this drama, Finrich appears. School, heading straight for the assassin trio. Alara says he'll explain how he knows her later, and he'll take responsibility for his words. What words? He literally just said her name. Her assassin joins the fray, slicing up beasts with incredible flexibility. Alara seems impressed by the display. But our hero says they have no time. They must get to the HOT. Clock tower immediately. The true enemy waits at the very top. Alara demands to know how he knows this. She warns him not to make excuses. Since they met, he's never spoken a single sincere word, always hiding things and talking in riddles. Yet she feels he has his reasons, and that is the only reason she puts her trust in him. So this time, he needs no excuse. They will focus on the mission. The protagonist is about to thank her when a shadow falls over him. A new problem has arrived. A creature from the game called the Terror of Flesh, an immortal monster with endless regeneration. The only way past is to lure it away. He tells Alara to create a distraction, but she's lost in her own world, vowing to split it in two. The kid yells, "Don't do that," but she isn't. Listening? Once she's fired up, it's game over. She unleashes a storm of thrusts Tristan's attack sequence. The beast swings a massive claw at her. He screams for her to counter. She parries with Tristan's defense. But ultimately, her blade shatters. She realizes even the Tristan style is useless against this foe. Our hero knows he can't linger here. He has to climb that tower. But he can't just leave Alara behind. She tries to summon her, Aura, declaring that even if she dies, he must save Alphonte. But Dowd is disappointed. Why is she so shaken? Just from a broken sword, the Alara. From the story, the mighty Tristan would never show such weakness. She's meant to be the final boss of this game, after all. Fair point. So, our hero calls her over, does a little hip shake, and whispers something to her. We don't know what he said, but poof, he said it and was gone. It must have been something wild, because she snaps and suddenly slashes the monster's stomach, splitting the creature in two as it transforms. From above, Vulcus observes, noting, the boy truly is interesting. The protagonist finally arrives. The blonde asks if he recalls their bet. Of course, our hero replies, he's here to defeat him. Vulcus then activates 16 demonic circles, saying he despises demons and finds all their followers disgusting. The protagonist draws his sword, saying he knows exactly why. Vulcus is this way. Demons have tormented him for thousands of years. The only reason he'd work with a prophet, interested in demons, is for one simple guarantee: the certainty of a true death, with no strings attached. Okay, it's starting to connect. In the original game, the prophet tells Vulcus she can grant him death because he is an immortal homunculus. That explains his billion deaths title. And the prophet promised that if Vulcus annihilated the academy, his wish would be granted. After countless years of waiting, he chose to believe her. Vulcus asks how the kid plans to win. Knowing all this, Dowd replies that if he didn't know, he wouldn't be this confident. The blonde says, very well. If the boy knows the deal, he knows he must attack. Vulcus's curse only allows him to die in a battle, where he's giving 100% of his strength. And our hero tells him to come at him with everything. Scene change. Ia says she never thought she'd be doing this with her friends. Yura asks if this is really happening, while Lucian just says she trusts Aya's timing. The three of them are on a catapult, and Ia tells them to brace for launch. Yura pulls the lever, smacks it, and they are sent flying. Did the main character tell them to launch to the top floor back to the fight? Vulcus tells the protagonist to prove he isn't all talk. But unfortunately, Dowd is a bit confused. His brain is freezing. He recalled the attack patterns perfectly. A tentacle in zone 223, then a laser to duck. He knows phase 1 should be simple. He considers using Tristan's defense, but in the end, he follows his gut and just dodges. He's torn between his new power and his old gamer knowledge. Vulcus finds it amusing. The kid came to fight but is just running away. How disappointing. The protagonist hides, unfazed by the humiliation. His goal is survival. He'll use every veteran trick in the book. He's just an F-rank kid. He can't win this with a direct assault. Then he spots something flying. It's the terror of flesh, or at least its head. He remembers that in the game. When this happens, the monster's head, a massive explosion erupts. Below, Elnor is a whirlwind of steel. Valkysis attacks, unleashing a blast up top. Elnor keeps farming aura. While our hero emerges from the wreckage, Valkysis is not impressed. He tells the kid to show his will to fight, but the monster is already in his face, saying once it takes this form, it's unbeatable. He didn't expect much, but will remember the kid's bravery. The final blow comes, screaming towards him, but he's yanked back by a chained sword. How did you get here? Acrobat, and Lucian has tiny angel wings. What's with the new look? Yura cries out, relieved he's okay. I arrives, declaring he held on long enough. The main character is glad they came, even if they're a day early. Tomorrow, Yura reveals the crown made from angel material is suppressing her curse. But that's not all. She begins to transform, looking like a powerful holy knight. Valkis now sees the kid's true plan. The real battle begins now, and Dowd sees the perfect opportunity and starts sprinting. Follow my lead exactly and we'll win. Nobody move one mistake and it is game over for all of us. So listen up. Lucian gets emotional. Our first time fighting side by side as sisters. And wow, that armor totally makes you look taller. Our hero starts calling out the plan. A laser is coming. From the side, Lucian needs to prep prayer 37 so Elliot can advance. The girls comply. Valkis charges another blast and fires. Lucian complains that the kid orders a lot for someone who's just standing there. The laser slams into her. Shield! Yuria dodges as our hero warns a tentacle is incoming. Yuria has to duck first, then parry.
She charges, blocks, and holds. He orders her back and tells I to move up. The commands keep coming.
Now, Lucy must buff Elia for a stronger strike. A laser will aim for your head, but don't panic. Just charge straight ahead and it will miss you. And it actually works. Air storms through the blast, slicing it in two. The boss is baffled. Something is wrong. How do they know his every move? How can anyone possibly direct a battle like this? The protagonist tells Yura to maintain the pressure. Eos conjures an inferno and hurls a massive fireball. As it connects, Valkis admits the kid's not all talk, but it still won't be enough to finish him. The magic circle above them expands, raining down light. Meanwhile, my girl,
Adelante, is still trying to fix that barrier. Girl, it has been 6 chapters. Back in the fight, Lucian
keeps raising shields. Yura pushes forward as our hero reads every attack pattern until the boss declares they've become too predictable. But as he strikes, the main character calls it she, rolls and counters. Aya swings, landing a clean strike on his forehead. The same chain connects back to Lucian, who declares, this time, Valkissus will regret everything. She unleashes a trial of faith, and a huge burst of light explodes from the tower's peak. It worked. Valkis reverts to a boy. A weapon stuck in his chest. He's screaming, energy erupting from him. Lucian wonders how he's even still alive. The blonde is enraged, screaming he can't die now. He must protect his kingdom. Golden power begins to gather. Above him, Aaliyah knows this is their only chance. They've damaged the core enough.
All that's left is to take off his head. But our hero tells her to wait. Damn, he says she's
done plenty. Now, all of them must get down from the tower. He'll take care of the rest. She thinks he's crazy. Can't he see the enemy is still standing? He replies, the timing is perfect, but they must leave or they'll all be wiped out. He thanks them for their help, but says this next part is his role alone. Now Yura spots her brother. Down below, hesitates, then tells St. Yuri she had to help the main character so he wouldn't get himself killed. But seeing her brother, she asks what this letting Dao die plan is. The protagonist insists. She's misunderstanding. He promises to return victorious. Dying here was never his plan. Ilar is frozen, completely panicking, until Lucian says, come on, sweetie, we're wasting time. Then she grabs her sister's hand and leaps off the tower, watching Valkissus crumble. Our hero states the condition to break the curse is to win a fair and just duel. And right now, the only one representing justice is him, Dowd Campbell. With his pathetic F-rank stats, he then merges the soul link with the demonic essence and asks Calivan if it hurts. When you die, Calivan asks if he's an idiot for thinking it wouldn't. The main character just laughs, saying he's never
taking advice from that bastard again. With that, he finally activates the stigmata skill. In an instant, the world,
the sky shattered. Corrupted lightning struck our hero. He coughed up blood, spotting the boy at the room's end. He crawled desperately towards him. The child's blood was more poison than life. And there, Valkas sat on his throne, watching his empire burn to ash, utter destruction. Then, he sensed a presence and turned. It was our main character. Valkas warned him to be careful, or become trapped within these memories, but Dao wasn't having it. Enough of this divide and conquer, he declared he was going to save this kingdom. And you? The blonde tyrant laughed. He said the boy knew the risks but chose this path. He had truly won. In a strange turn, Dao offered a hand, saving his enemy as the Panets. Barrier began to repair itself. Adelante, for all her talk, was powerless. In the end, it was only our hero who saved the day. The portal vanished in a flash of light. Main quest completed. He gained 1,000 points and unlocked a special interaction. As his consciousness returned, he opened his eyes to find Elnor in his lap. You came up as soon as I beat them? She answered with a simple yes. He asked if she was angry he'd left her for that strange kid. Oh, I'm angry, she said, but not about that. She'd met the hero insane on the other side of the tower. Apparently, they helped him defeat Valkas, which was odd because she should have been there for the decisive final battle. The protagonist was confused. Was this simple jealousy, or was her pride wounded? He stood up, telling her not to be jealous. Drop dead, she retorted, as if
Dao figured it all worked out. Calavans and Valkas could finally rest. He then told Elnor to stop,
staring at him with that mischievous grin. We need to prepare, he said. The rumors about this are going to spread like wildfire. But she wasn't interested. She was more focused on the dinner he still owed her. Scene change. The students celebrate. They're finally getting a vacation from this cursed school. Meanwhile, Yura's smoking, wondering how Dao knew. Valkas's weaknesses. Her sister calls him a meticulous kid. What mattered was that in the end,
Everything turned out fine. But her sister warned her not to relax. The Holy Emperor wouldn't give up on
his plans, especially their homunculus deal. Yura replied that now, he'd have to hunt them. And it wouldn't be easy. Just then, someone demanded she put out that damn cigarette. And look who it is, the little witch Fenol, showing up fashionably late. The scene shifts to Ilya's room.
She's feeling insecure, doubting she deserves the title of future warrior. Her friend insists she was a key part of that final attack. But Ilya just feels like she's living in her brother's shadow.
Ahem. Moving on. The scene switches to our main character, now talking with Adelante. She warns he'll be hunted by demon worshippers. He just sighs. A little too late for that warning. He's been their target for a while now. She tells him to rest, reminding him he's still a student. Dao reflects. He's only cleared Chapter 2. He still needs to figure out what's happening with that prophet in the game. A female demon worshipper never filled that role. Then, Adelante tells him to just go with it. He's completely lost. Go with what? What are you? Talking about, she reveals he's supposed to visit Ilya's family with her. Wait, with Ilya and
Elnor. This woman just does what she wants, doesn't she? Sending him on a trip with all the girls?